Go. All right, Beer Night followers, we are back. If you haven't noticed already.
Finally.
Yes.
Back in black.
Back
How
in black.
fucking cliche is that?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. We're here with Zach. This is our Halloween special edition here of Beer Night. I think the last time we had an episode was last Halloween.
Wait a minute. The last time we did a Halloween episode was last Halloween?
Maybe.
I'm
Yeah.
fucking shocked.
Shocking.
It only makes sense.
Maybe
right?
we'll have a Christmas special if we do a
Hey,
Christmas one.
Christmas.
You know? Yay, Christmas. But this time around, we're going to do something different. So this is going to be a straight shot. We're not going to, cut. We're going to go straight talking for 2.5, 3 hours.
We're going to try the podcast,
podcast
formats.
style.
Like instead of doing, YouTube vignettes, we're going to try doing a continuous podcast style. And like I said, we may or may not still cut them down for YouTube.
We probably will.
We'll see.
We'll
see.
But,
it depends on how it goes.
But yeah, I will edit all this stuff down and find a podcast platform I can put this stuff on. If you guys know where to put podcasts on, let me know in the comments.
Or if you have a place where you consume podcasts,
yes, let me know.
You could possibly consume this one after watching the exact same fucking thing that you're watching.
People
right
listen
now.
to us in their car, just the podcast. You had to do.
Well, yeah, but they're already watching right now. If they're
What?
hearing what you're saying, that means they're currently watching right now.
Okay.
So that means they wouldn't then listen to it again in a podcast format.
Well, they fucking better.
Maybe the next one they will though.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe next one we'll do it live too. I got to figure out the YouTube live thing. Maybe that's a way to go. I don't know. We'll see. But I am thirsty. Let's drink some goddamn beer.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. Beer night.
So,
beer reviews.
We're doing something fun this time around. We went shopping for a beer to review, and we found this pretty looking saison from Russian River Brewing Company called the Robert Saison, and they had one right next to it. What's that one called, Steve?
Yanemi Saison? Yanemi Saison.
Oh, that was a train wreck. It's just as I thought it would be. I'm going to say Janemy or Yanemi. We can call it Yanemi. Sure, yes.
That was close.
You
think the J is
Y?
like a Y?
It's also a Saison. They had it right next to it. So they had two different Saisons. So I'm like, couldn't decide which one. So I'm like, why not do both?
And you sold me on that.
Why not do both?
Easy.
So we're going to try both, compare and contrast, and give a review of both. So let's start with the Robert.
Robert, yes.
The Robert. So I don't know if I've ever had anything from Russian River as far as beer. I've had Russian River wine, and they do make good wine. I believe it's Russian River.
I had their
pretty sure.
Pinely, or I can't remember what it's called now. We have it in the fridge.
Pinely?
Plimy or something like that. Oh, I'll figure it out later. But I've had that one. So.
Plimy?
Pliny. I can't remember what it's called. I'm blinking. Starts with a P.
Oh.
What is it fucking called? Remember? We'll get there. All right. You'll see in this 2.5 hour. You'll see. It's gonna get worse. Worse.
Steve's pronunciation never gets better. That's for sure.
Woo! Pop that son of a bitch.
All right. I'm excited. I haven't had a good saison in a while, so I'm excited. Hopefully this one is good too.
So let's do about half, and then we'll drink the other one. I want to drink the full one.
Oh, let's compare and contrast. So because I do kind of want to go back and forth almost. I want to get one, then get the other, and then circle back to the original.
Tell you what, smells really good.
It's kind of like we're doing a flight, except it's just 2 beers.
Two beers, 4. Yeah. Tell you what, smells fucking good.
The color in the body looks exactly like what you'd expect a saison to look like, right? It's perfect. Perfect body, perfect color. You know what I just realized?
What?
The visual of drinking beer works a lot better in a video format.
Yes, that's why we do this on YouTube. But
oh yeah,
okay,
that's right.
If you're listening to this, we just took a sip.
Yeah,
that's what that silence was.
That's what you heard. That's what you heard.
maybe now we have to go. Please
don't. You already burping up. So, let me start out by giving you a real crackerjack analysis here and saying this is an excellent beer.
That's what I say. Okay, it's my line.
Let's get a little deeper into it. However, I appreciate what it's giving me, and I'm going to get into the flavor palette a little bit here. But I just my knee-jerk initial reaction is I appreciate the body and the fullness of this beer, but I feel like it's not quite hitting the way I want a top-end saison to hit. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just it doesn't have quite that fermentation flavor that you usually get out of a saison. Like it's there, but it's very slight.
Yeah.
It doesn't have as much of a kind of a yeasty flavor. Saisons usually have kind of I don't want to say fruity. I'm trying to think of a better word. They have like a little bit of a spice to it.
Yeah.
A little bit of a tang and a spice. This is almost more in the ale direction. Like a little bit more in that kind of slightly malty flavor, especially the back end of it. That the aftertaste it gives a slightly bitter malt. Now that being said, those are my critiques. It's still, I think one of the better beers we've had in a while as far as just overall quality and depth of flavor and kind of body. That doesn't at all, which a lot of cheap saisons sometimes you encounter that.
I don't know. I'm getting a watered down taste at the end.
You are?
Okay. I am. That's what I was going to say. That it's got a good crisp bite to it at the beginning. Mm-hmm. You can taste kind of like a little bitterness right there at the beginning, and then I'm right at the tail end of it. It just waters down. Like it feels like it. I'm getting a little bit of malty, but to me, it tastes a little more like watered down at the end. It's kind of weird. I've never really tasted something like that before.
I can see what you kind of mean. Yeah. For me, it's kind of like it does lighten up at the end, but then the more you sit, the more I get a bitter kind of ale-ish aftertaste, kind of like what I was saying before.
I mean, that could be it too, but
keep drinking it,
yes.
IPA style, then you wash away that aftertaste.
Yeah, you do. Mm-hmm. I guess. Should we?
Objectively, I can say this is a really, like I led saying this is an excellent beer. I can say this is a really good quality beer. Yeah. Like I can really appreciate what they're doing here objectively, but at the same time, it kind of falls just a skosh short of what I want out of a saison. There's just kind of that. So another thing, a good comparison for a saison that sometimes will have a little dash of kind of barley wine-esque flavor.
Yeah.
And that just, I guess, sweetness, right? Mm-hmm. This is a little more on the bitter side.
It is bitter, yeah.
And so, which is nothing wrong with that. And don't get me wrong, I don't want my beers to be overly sweet, but usually what I like about a saison, it has just a little dash in there that kind of separates it from a lot of other beers. Kind of in the same way that a good Bavarian Hefeweizen has that slight banana finish flavor to it, right? It's not huge, but it's enough that kind of separates it.
Yeah.
And kind of, you get that yeast kind of and banana-ish flavor that kind of separates it from other things.
It goes down really well. It's really good. To me, it's a good beer to drink. The flavor is kind of, hit and miss on this thing. Do you want to rate this before we drink the other one?
I want to go to the other one.
You want to
go? I want to compare and contrast.
I got another question for you. Yes. Should we use a different glass? No? Let's pour right into the other one?
Too lazy for that.
It's right there.
I'm pouring enough. That's true. It is right there, huh?
It's right there.
Oh, shit. I'm
nah,
good.
We're good.
I mean,
The
they're
beer.
both saisons. It's like I didn't leave hardly any in there. I sucked it down. So
I have a little. But our beer connoisseurs on this channel, they'll be pissed at us.
But see, here's the thing. Normally, I wouldn't do this. I would be more of a Nazi and more of a purist. But if you understand where we're coming from with these two beers, they are like brother and sister. Not that you should brother and sister. But anyway.
Get off that topic.
Going off the rails here. But anyway, so like they are, if you read the description on the bottle, they literally have the exact same description. So I think I'm inclined to say that they're going to be very, 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 very close.
Okay.
So I'm not too worried about using the same glass. It's not like we're mixing a hef with an IPA.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be wrong. And we can discuss that later. But it rarely happens.
Yeah. This is the first too. We've never done like beer like this before reviewing, so this is.
So that one I gave way too much head on, but that's okay.
Yeah, I got too much.
Plenty. So the body.
This one looks lighter.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
Like the coloration looks slightly, ever so slightly lighter. Well,
yeah.
This is the Janemy.
Janemy.
Different. It's definitely different. Okay, it's quite a bit different. Maybe we should use a different glass. Okay.
I think that one's better.
Yes.
It's definitely better.
So that's more along the lines of what I want out of a saison. It's got that slight fruity yet spiced kind of feel to it, but not overly fruity. Not they didn't not like they put a bunch of artificial flavoring in there like you get with like the juicy IPAs and shit
like that. So the Yasmin one or Yasmin one is 6.5%, and then the was it Robert? That 6.2%.
So
this is a little bit higher percentage in this one.
Interesting. Like I'm kind of a little bit flabbergasted by the difference.
Well, this one doesn't have like a good crisp, like right when you sip it, it doesn't crisp. It has a malty, full flavor, like fruity.
Do you know what? I get a little
taste to it.
I get a little like clove flavor too. There's a little like clovish flavor in there, like that little spice, but kind of, but also kind of, I guess for lack of a better word, fruity, like that slight sweet flavor that you get out of a
sweet.
Clove,
Sweet's a good word for it. I think sweet. I a little bit more.
I'm liking this one better though. I'm definitely liking this one better.
I am too.
It just has that kind of more of a almost wheaty type flavor too. Like it's almost got like a wheat beer kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I agree with that.
This is definitely more along the lines of a traditional saison that I'm at least that I'm kind of used to. It all depends on what we can find out here in Southern California amidst the IPAs.
We were thinking about doing a fruity IPA too.
Yeah,
thank God we didn't.
It's like, oh, let's look at all the hazy IPAs.
Yeah.
Maybe we should grab one of those. It's like you can't escape them. But no, this was a good choice. I definitely like the contrast between these two as well. I think you're right. We probably should use different glasses to be purist. But again, the amount that was at the bottom, like the little bit of foam that was left at the bottom, is not going to influence the flavor.
Okay.
Even though I'm somewhat of a purist and elitist.
Well, we'll see if we get any.
I still understand reality.
We'll see if we get any haters on that. I don't know. Not too many people watch us anyway, or comment anyway. We've been doing this almost 5 years, and we still barely get any comments on our beers.
Maybe it's here and there. About one comment per year.
Yeah, about right. I don't know why. We're entertaining, I think. But,
well, Lord knows what you think matters.
It does. Damn it. Before we rate this,
we'll get to the rating.
We'll get to the rating here in a minute. we usually, talk about little things here and there, get to know us a little bit better, some questions. And this
Oh,
is
great questions.
last Halloween, we had like
Lord
Halloween
knows I like
questions.
small talk.
This is a little bit different, kind of, Halloween themed question a little bit. I want to talk about death, not the band, but your own mortality. Have you ever thought about, maybe how you think you would die? How do you want your funeral? Do you want to be like cremated? Do you want to be in a in the ground cemetery?
Bro? What the
I'm
fuck
interested
is
in to find
this?
out.
This is not a beer drinking topic.
Well, it's
at
a
all.
Halloween edition.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Halloween
it
is fun.
No.
It's not morbid.
Death.
I mean, I guess Halloween is slightly
Death.
morbid, but it's more about like fun
Dressing
side of
up,
morbidity.
yeah.
Not
I mean,
like
you
the
can have fun with it
depressing
or
side.
depressing. But have you ever thought about your own mortality?
Yes, way too much.
Yeah, way too much.
Way too much. That's why I have life insurance.
Yeah, same.
A large policy. Tell the wife.
Mm. I may have 2 or 3 extra
Well, we
ones in
especially
between.
shouldn't tell your wife.
No.
See you working.
Yep. Which one did you pour in? Which one?
I'm doing the Robert now.
Robert.
Oh shit! I left way too much. Now I
gonna
gotta go.
finish
I
my
gotta go
Robert.
hard on this one.
Oh yeah.
So, mortality. Okay,
yes.
Fun topics.
Fun. Right. How do
so-
you think you'll die? Or, just tell me what do you think about it?
So as far as thoughts about it, I've never really thought about the manner in which it happens.
Yeah.
I've always thought more about the reality of it.
Yeah.
And see, this is why you should. This is not a good topic to discuss over beers because it's very depressing. I thought about the reality of it, like the idea of everything you know and love coming to an instant end.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
like the instant deaths that could happen, or
no, it still comes to an end instantly. Even if it's a slow death, it's still there's a moment that it happens when it all just ends, right? And there's no more consciousness, there's no more thought, there's no more contemplation.
Yeah.
There's no more feeling, nothing. Everything you ever wanted to do is gone.
It's gone, done. Yeah.
So again, not a fun beer
No,
drinking
it's not.
topic.
No,
So leave it to fucking you. Jesus
Alright.
Christ.
Well, have you thought about like funeral arrange? Like, what would you want to be? Would you be cremated or be in a cemetery? Or
It don't fucking matter.
It doesn't matter.
You know why?
Why?
Because you're fucking dead.
Well, it matters to the people that
Sure. They can do what
love
they
you. They can do what they want. You don't have like a preference
Have-
or.
It doesn't
It
matter
doesn't
because
matter.
I'll be fucking dead. Who gives a
Alright,
shit about my
alright,
preference?
fuck.
Well, like your preference, again, that's what I'm talking about. Your preferences, your
Yeah.
hopes, your
Everything
dreams, it's
doesn't matter.
all gone.
Okay.
You don't
Alright.
have any preferences
Alright.
anymore because
Yeah.
you don't have any feelings anymore.
So-
You're dead. You don't have a consciousness anymore. It's gone.
All right. There's a
Who gives
reason
a
why.
shit about your feelings.
All right. Well, there's a reason why, I asked this question. There's been a lot of death at my work, not work related, but a lot of people have passed on this past year that works at my work. And it's like, God dang, dude. One guy passed away, 33 years old, just way too young. It was crazy.
33. How?
33. Heart attack. So, yeah, and yeah, that was no. He drank a lot of energy drinks, like a lot. He had a lot of health problems too. So, but that shocked a lot of people at my work, and it was crazy. So it got me thinking, I'm 37. How long do I have? Am I coming up soon? I'm hoping for a long life. Seeing the kids grow
As
up,
we all are.
as we all are.
This is why it's
and
not
then-
a fun beer drinking.
And then I
topic.
thought about how would I because my funeral I would have a like a special service because of my work. But do I want to be cremated or do I want be in a cemetery? And I got thinking, well, if I'm cremated, there's only going to be one person that has my ashes, right? But if I'm in a cemetery, there's multiple people that could go whenever they want to go and remember me and stuff like that. And I was thinking about that.
Okay, but that sounds okay. Only slightly egotistical.
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because again, it's more up to the people that are here.
That is true.
Like
yeah.
it's not really up to you. Maybe they don't want to visit your sorry ass. I don't
Probably not.
know.
But like if you're cremated, you have to say it would be my wife would have my ashes, right? And if people would want to come and remember me by whoever or
So
wherever,
they couldn't
they
come
would
visit.
have to like call the wife, say, hey, can I come? But if I'm in a cemetery, they wouldn't have to do that. They would just go as they please.
So
So I'm
only,
thinking ahead.
only in death.
I'm thinking ahead.
Only in death is Steve thinking about how he can unburden his wife. Not in life. Not in life.
No.
Only in death.
I'd burning her like crazy. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. But when I die, I want to take a little bit of weight off your
Yes,
shoulders.
Yes.
I don't want any, visitors.
Yeah.
The myriad
And she hates visitors.
The
too, so.
myriad of people that are going to want to come visit my remains.
Yes.
I want to take off of your plate. And, we
get
don't want
it.
them ringing
You
your
understand
doorbell.
it. You
It's
understand
okay.
it. Yes.
The
All right.
fans that are going to be lining up.
Yes. The beer night
The
fans.
beer night followers are going to be lining up.
Line
at
it
your
up.
doorstep to visit my urn of shit.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So,
Well, there you go.
it's up to the people left behind. That points for
That's
remains.
Points for me. All right. I
So,
thought maybe I'd change your mind.
You know what?
That's
I think I have a pretty
Yeah.
good idea that your wife is going to want to burn your ass to a crisp.
it is cheaper too. It is cheaper to do that. You're not paying for
Nice and
plot and the
crispy. Ashes.
burn my fucking
Ashes.
shit. Yep.
Urn? Who needs an urn? Like she's going to spread your ashes. In the,
I could be the Undertaker, right? You have the urn, put the Undertaker on it. You're a big wrestling fan, so
Who's your pallbearer?
I don't know. I have to figure that one out. Be anybody. All
Speaks in a high squeaky voice.
right.
Not quite like that.
Yeah. Was it? Oh yeah.
Let's just not go there.
No, okay.
Let's not do that.
All right.
What is? Did you just do a Paul Bearer version of the Macho Man?
I probably did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can't do
no,
it. No, I
stop
can't
it.
do it. Stop it.
No, the best ash spreading of all time is still the spreading of Donnie's ashes in The Big Lebowski.
All right, yeah.
That's still a great.
That's a good one.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
I do. I do know what you're talking about. I've seen that movie a couple of times. Not probably as much as you,
Yeah.
but yes, a couple of times.
Oh
yes.
shit! I'm sorry, dude.
What? Yeah.
So you don't
Oh,
know what
shit.
I'm talking about.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, see, you don't know what I'm
I
talking
don't remember it. Honestly,
This is a problem because
I
it's
don't
one of
remember
the
it.
funniest
Yeah.
moments
I don't
in
remember
movie
it.
history.
I don't remember it. All right. Yeah. Okay.
So
Well, let's rate this beer. Now we're off of Jeff. Let's rate the beer. So we'll do the Robert one first, since it's the first one.
you don't have any other questions, so I
No,
can get to the
this
second beer.
just that one.
Okay.
Just that one. Well, unless you got something bright up there in your fucking bulb. I'm always coming up with this shit. What are you doing?
What's
you
your
here for the beer?
Okay, what's your favorite Halloween tradition? That's an easy one, right? It's
I
chalky.
don't really have one. I should have one. I mean, on the, course to Halloween, I start watching a bunch of horror movies. I guess that could be a tradition,
Like, what are your favorite horror movies to watch? Oh,
Well,
wait, am I jumping
You're
ahead?
jumping way ahead, sir. We'll get there. But like, I take the kids trick or treating, if I'm not working.
Well, okay.
I mean, I don't really have a tradition. You have one?
No.
Oh, okay.
What's
I
funny,
would love to have
What's funny
one,
about
but-
me and Halloween is I actually kind of like and appreciate Halloween
Yeah.
as a beer drinking holiday.
We've had a Halloween.
So-
I've been to a couple of your Halloween parties.
Everybody always asks me if I'm
Yeah.
going to dress up for Halloween. I'm always like, no. Like I
don't
don't know. I'm not a big
mind.
dress up guy. I don't know.
No.
Do you like to dress up?
I don't mind it, but I'm not that big into it. I think 2 Halloweens ago we did this special. I was a beer. If you remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
remember
You
that?
were a
I mean,
beer.
I don't mind dressing up
Apropos.
too much. It just depends on what it is. It's got to be funny, or I'm a big funny. I'm not a big scary, dress up guy. Big, if it makes
You're a
people
big
laugh.
funny guy.
Big funny guy.
You're a
Yeah.
big funny dress up guy.
Yeah.
I'm not really a dress up guy in general.
That's how my wife knew who I was. It was my freshman year of high school, and I dressed up as a chick with me and my buddy, and we were on stage, and my wife saw me. We weren't like together at the time yet, but She knew who I was.
Love at
by
first
then.
sight.
Yeah.
Love at first sight, right
Her
there.
eyes were
There you go.
glowing. I had heels. I was in a
Yeah.
skirt. Oh, it was all.
Oh, yeah.
All that.
I always knew she
Yeah.
had bisexual tendencies.
I haven't seen
Well,
it.
wait a minute. Easy, Rod. So let that be a lesson to you,
Yes.
kids. The high school sweetheart.
Mm-hmm. Dress up funny.
Yeah. You never know how you're going to catch them.
Nope.
Right? Dress up like a woman.
Yeah.
Right?
Nowadays.
Humility.
Nowadays,
but
when
you know what? It's humility is
Yeah.
what really
Y-
got it right there.
I don't think you can do that in today's age, though.
What, humility?
No, just like dressing up as a woman
Of course you can.
for Halloween. No, I
Of course
don't-
you
I
can.
don't think so.
Of
Today's
course you
climate.
can.
Today's climate. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. Leave a
Why
comment. Let
can't
me
you?
know.
I think you're.
I don't
I
know.
think you're confusing.
I would be
the
scared
context.
to. I would be scared to dress up as a woman. today.
Why? Because the incels are gonna jump you? Fuck them. I'll kick their ass.
No, it's the political things.
No,
About
it depends on the
Yeah, I
context
don't
you
know.
do it in.
I don't know.
If you're
I
doing-
mean, there is no. In today's age, there is no context.
Of
about
course
that.
there is. There's
I-
always
I-
context. What are you talking
You would
about?
common sense would say, yeah, there is, but not in today's world. No.
That's Bolshevik. I call Bolshevik bullshit.
Okay, there's a question for people out there. Are you think a man can dress up as a woman for Halloween?
Of course.
I say no. It's not good anymore.
Of course.
All right.
Why
So,
wouldn't you be able to?
I don't think it would.
Because it depends on how you're doing it. If you're doing it in an insulting manner, then you're doing
maybe
it in an
yeah.
insulting
I
manner.
don't-
That's
how
totally
would you do it in
different.
an insulting manner though? I don't understand.
Because if you're doing it to poke fun or make fun
Yeah.
of somebody,
I guess.
or make fun of a certain sect of people,
yeah.
or make fun of like a minority group, for example,
Okay. Yeah.
then that's like for example, okay, here's what I think you're trying to get at. By the way, your light went out.
Oh, battery ran out. Damn it! I should have
We
put.
didn't
these-
even get we didn't even get
I
to get the handle on
know.
the camera.
Maybe he has batteries. I don't
So
know.
here's what you're getting at. What you're trying to poke at or point to, I think, is if some white dude went blackface for Halloween, right? I think that's what you're trying to say.
kind of like that. Yeah.
That's a bullshit
Yeah.
comparison. It's
Yeah.
a total bullshit comparison. You could go drag for Halloween and have it be funny and humorous
okay.
and not be insulting or be demeaning
yeah.
to a group of people like you going blackface to
Yeah,
Halloween
yeah.
would be. There is context there that's very important. Now, people that are, I don't know, what phrase could we come up with that I don't know. How about anti-woke? Let's call it that.
Okay.
That like people that are anti-woke,
Yeah.
like because there's that whole black and white dichotomy, like everything else in our fucking country, would say, oh no, you can't do that because the crazy woke people would want to cancel you.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Bullshit. It depends on how you do it.
Yeah.
It's all in how you do it.
Okay.
If you, for example, if you dressed up as Tim Curry's character in the Rocky Horror Picture Show,
Yeah.
there's context, right?
There's context.
There's
there, yeah.
also a way you can do it respectfully. As a white guy, you can't really do blackface
no.
respectfully.
Yeah. No, you can't. Not at all.
So
Zero.
there are degrees.
Yeah.
There are degrees there, and you could. Anyway, the point I was trying to get at, where you turn this into a stupid conversation, is humility,
Okay.
right? Because Steve, one of your better qualities, not your internet influenced hocus pocus
No.
bullshit, is humility.
Yes.
Humility is what attracted your wife to you, and people can perceive that.
Yeah.
They can
Okay.
see that in when you dress up in a costume, for example. They
Yeah.
can see if you're doing it because it's fun,
Yeah.
and it's respectful, and they can also see if you're doing it to be a douchebag. There is a very clear
Yeah.
difference.
All right, that settles that then. Huh? All right. Well, you ready to rate this beer?
Yeah, I am.
So we're gonna rate the Robert one. The first one we drank. We're gonna give that a beer rating.
Still trying to get through it because I like the other one way better.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Ooh, so we know what this
Spoiler
right. I'll start with my rating. I'm gonna give this 3 out of 5 beer mugs,
3 out of 5.
which is satisfying.
I think
I think it's a satisfying beer.
I think that's
not
pretty
bad.
accurate.
Yeah.
I was gonna go 3.5. The more I drink it, the more it's bumping down to 3 to me. I think I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
There's just this bitterness to it that I'm just not really connecting with. Again, I can respect and objectively say that this is a really high quality beer. I used the word excellent earlier. I might come off of that a little bit. And that was more of a knee-jerk reaction because I can taste the quality there. The quality is
the quality
really,
of the
really
beer
bad.
is good. It's definitely good.
It is. Quality-wise, let me make that distinction.
Yeah.
Quality-wise, it is excellent. As far as overall flavor, that's where I'm coming down off that a little bit, and I'm going to say that it's 3, which is good, not excellent, because I don't know. I just don't really like that kind of bitterness that it has.
Yeah.
It does have a very dry and bitter finish compared to the other one.
All right. So you're right there with me too as well. 3. All right. Now
That's the Robert.
it's the Robert.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the Janemy, and yes, we're still doing the same glass. Done screwed the pooch on that one.
Oh, whoa.
Train's
whoa,
done left
whoa.
the station. What the fuck are you doing there? A lot of head, sir. It's more head you've ever had in your life.
I think this beer is it's very true, especially when you're married.
Easy, Rod.
Sorry.
Like I said,
Sorry.
leave it up to the people you leave behind because she's gonna want to burn your ass to a crisp.
Probably. Yeah, this is
She's gonna be like,
burn,
this is
motherfucker.
gonna be fun.
Burn.
Let me see those flames.
Oh, yeah. It looks good with the logo.
It does, yeah. It works. It makes the logo pop.
Yeah. So I'm already set on this rating. I'm gonna give this 4 out of 5 beer mugs. It's all good, man.
Ooh,
4 out of 5.
It really is a lot better.
Yeah.
So I'm teetering between 4 and 4.5.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it 4.5? This is the tough part. I don't know.
For me, I don't think it could. It's not there. I don't think
it's not
4.5.
my favorite Saison I've ever had.
Yeah.
And
it's close. I agree with you how you're teetering.
It's close to
it is
4.5.
close 4.5 because it's not a 5.
No.
But it's right there with 4, but maybe a little better than 4.
Maybe a touch, maybe a skosh. How about 4.25?
Well, I don't have that logo to put on there for 4.25.
Splitting hairs, 4.25.
Okay.
If we're gonna start doing quarter ratings, we might as well just make it a 10 scale instead of a 5.
That's
Instead of a 5 scale, right?
Yeah.
So instead of 5 stars, we do a 10 scale, right?
Oh my God. Are we changing
Because then if we do a 10 scale, what is this? This is an 8.5? 8.5 out of 10? Yeah. Right? So 4.25.
4.25.
Right?
All right. Yeah,
8.5 divided by 2 is 4.25.
Okay.
Right? Makes
Okay.
sense.
All right. Fucking confusing the shit out of me, but all right.
What's
Matt,
that on the Stone Cold Steve Austin scale?
Oh, hell yeah. It's a 5. I don't know now. Fucking 10 would be a beer bash and a stunner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
stunner.
that. I like that.
Yeah.
The double beer bash.
Double beer bash, and then
the face waterfall.
and stunning Shane McMahon right in the center of the ring.
Shane or Vince?
Shane took a hell of a fucking bump.
because Shane could take a much better bump than.
Oh, did you see the last WrestleMania Vince was on? I think it was 38. Stone Cold stunned Vince. Oh, it was horrible.
Vince is a terrible bump taker.
Oh,
Shane, on the other hand, Shane could take a hell of a bump.
He could take a hell of a bump.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was like 2 years ago. Oh, you gotta see it.
Vince
It was
has never
fucking
been a
horrible.
bump taker.
No, but this one fucking it takes the cake. It was so bad. Yeah. And he's bad person now.
Well,
Ugh.
we certainly could.
Certainly could. All right, well,
So 4.25.
4.25, 4 for me.
8.5 out of 10.
Oh, okay. That's what we're doing.
Now that is the Russian River.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot.
I do
Now
too.
the Robert,
Same.
I clearly don't like as much.
Yeah.
The glares label there.
I'll
But
put a picture in post, maybe.
I guess why don't you stop me from holding it up to the screen then if you're gonna do that?
Well, no, you gotta still hold it to the screen. You still do. I like that aspect of it. Okay.
Okay. So Russian River, they make good beer. Even the Robert, like there's a lot of appreciation I have for that because it is a really high quality beer. They didn't skimp on it at all.
No.
It just doesn't, for a saison, it's not quite what I want it to be. The enemy is way better.
Yes, I agree with you. Since we're not
What's next?
stopping, let's talk some.
Keep this show rolling.
Keeping it rolling, bro. We're gonna fucking roll your boat. No, we're not doing that.
No, that's row, not roll.
Roll.
I didn't say keep this rowing.
Rolling. Keep it rolling.
Keep rolling.
Rolling.
One of the worst songs ever, by the way.
Hands up and hands down, moving inside out.
Back
Whatever.
up. Now back, whatever.
Back it up.
Move out.
It's the new metal hokey pokey.
Exactly. It's a hokey pokey,
Yeah.
I swear.
I once in eighth grade had a dance, and they had like a little dance off like to that song, and I was on stage for that, and I was like, okay, we'll do it, and then that's when I realized this is the fucking hokey pokey.
Yeah, well, and he says
move in and move out, hands up and hands down.
Back up. Tell me what you're gonna do now, and I'm like, the hokey pokey, I guess.
I'm gonna keep rolling.
Yeah, whatever that means. I guess I'm gonna keep rolling with the hokey pokey. I don't know.
God damn, we went on a Limp Bizkit thing here. Okay. All right, let's talk sports. Sports. No clock. We're just fucking talking shit.
I like sports. Sports are good. Nobody goes to YouTube for sports, but you know what? Now it's just they're already here.
Yeah, they're already here. They're already watching. They're not gonna click next. No, you're gonna fucking keep watching this 2.5, 3 hour
Patience
thing.
is a virtue.
Yes. Let's talk the NFL since obviously it's king of sports like always.
It's really a bummer that this thing turned off.
I know, man. I should have put new batteries in. My bad.
Anyway, NFL.
NFL. What do you got for me in NFL?
Well, we're in week 5. 4 just ended.
4 just ended. So
week
5.
Week 5's coming up. Mm-hmm. Fuck fantasy football on everything it stands for.
Shit, the year must be fucking.
It's stupid, especially when players don't play in the preseason. It's just a clusterfuck, man. I hate it.
So preseason, you need these players to play in preseason.
Yeah, because they come out in the regular season. Yeah. It's like, who are you people?
Anything that shocks you so far?
Sam Darnold. Hello.
Oh, hello, Sam.
Hello, Sammy.
My goodness.
See what happens. I mean, Kevin O'Connell's a great coach. We know this. I mean, he did great things with Kirk D. Cousins. And I mean, Sam Darnold. What the hell? Revival. I mean, if ever there was a damning of the Jets. Yeah. Geno Smith in Seattle. Sam Darnold in Minnesota. Aaron Rodgers at the Jets. How we looking, Jets? Geno, first-round draft pick. Sam Darnold, first-round draft pick. Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. The Jets are fucking everybody over, right?
Yeah.
Now all we need is what's his name? Zach Wilson to actually. Yeah. He's not. He's not going to do it. But we need Zach
never
Wilson
know. Maybe in the next 3 or 4 years, like these other old quarterbacks, you know.
I mean, if he goes to another team, he's not going to. They're not going to start. Sean Payton's not
aging.
He's in Denver, and Bo Nix is going to get his rookie woes out. And
any like surprises this year so far? Sam Darnold.
And you know what's funny?
Pittsburgh really surprised me. I'm surprised they got off to a hot start.
Justin Fields looks good.
He does. But that defense, that fucking defense.
It's fucking Pittsburgh.
Oh, Watt. Was it
TJ Watt?
TJ Watt. Fucking just. I was watching some of the Pittsburgh game. And like, this guy.
He's a monster.
This fucking guy.
He's
dude.
a future
wow.
Hall of Famer, like his brother.
Yeah, is just fucking. He can do whatever he wants on that field. No one can fucking stop that guy. That guy's phenomenal.
So, I think it's really funny how Andy Dalton just comes in and red rifles it everywhere. I always want to call him the Red Rocket.
He's the Red Rocket.
No, it's Red Rifle.
Red Rifle?
Not Red Rocket. Red Rocket is something else.
Oh, that's a South Park thing.
No, it's not a South Park thing.
No, that's what I heard at first.
It was
South Park.
How old are you? It was something long before South Park, and the viewers can figure that out. It's not pleasant, but anyway. So so I gotta remember it's the Red Rifle, not the Red Rocket. So it's just funny to me how he just comes in, just it's like Joe Flacco, just comes in, and just
comes in
hey,
and just does the
veteran
job.
QB. It's like
Yeah.
let's just stand in the pocket and just throw darts, whatever, fuck it. The young guy couldn't get it done.
And then San Francisco, all those damn injuries.
They're still going to be fine by the end of the year. Brock Purdy's playing out of his mind.
He is. He's playing good, but
He's
that
playing
team
really
is
well.
just, I don't know.
They'll be fine.
I hope so, man.
They'll be fine.
All those injuries and shit.
They'll be fine.
Tampa Bay is not surprising.
Baker!
But I miss
cooking.
you, Baker.
He's
back.
cooking. Yeah, how you feel about that
Come back to Cleveland.
How you feel about the Deshaun Watson contract?
Oh, my God.
That albatross of a contract for Deshaun Watson.
5 more years of this shit.
Yeah, it's an albatross, dude. It's an albatross.
But my Browns' offensive line, though, is just garbage, dude. Just the worst offensive line. He played pretty good the last game that he played.
He did okay.
Against the Raiders. Just if that offensive line.
Now it's the Raiders, though.
Yeah, I know. If the offensive line stayed, they could have won that game.
Now, offensive line against Crosby. Crosby didn't play, though, did he? Or did he play? Max Crosby for the Raiders?
I think he was out.
Yeah,
I think he was
that's
out.
why. That's why Watson had a better game there. Otherwise, yeah.
In Washington.
Jaden Daniels, man.
Yeah, the
that's
Commanders.
That's the rookie of the class right there. Not Caleb, not Bo Nix, not Michael Penix so far. Jaden Daniels is the guy.
Jaden Daniels is the guy. And the Caleb Williams.
It's still early, though. It's still really early. I mean,
we're on week 5 now. Week 5, so it's still, 1 week at a time. Anything else from the NFL? That it's still early, so we're kind of still figuring out what teams are.
Eagles are still a mess.
They're kind of they're struggling, fucking crazy, dude. I'm surprised that the Eagles are struggling.
Well, it's
as much as they are.
I thought maybe they would because they started out last year 10-1 and then collapsed, and I thought maybe they would have a little bit of a bounce back, especially after getting Saquon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it still seems like they're just kind of like in a tailspin a little bit. I don't really know what they can do. I mean, the obvious thing is to blame the coach, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is. But it just seems like I don't know. It's just kind of broken right there. I mean, it's still early. I mean, they lost a couple games. They could still turn it around.
And then Cincy's a surprise. I thought they would be, even though they're notorious for slow starts.
Because that's a preseason thing. Again, it's just like you watch.
They need to play preseason. Yeah. Just put them out there for a little bit. Just get them in the rhythm or something, man. Yeah, I think that's what we're seeing right now. And Buffalo actually is surprising me. I'm surprised
by the Ravens.
They did, but before the Ravens, they were hitting on all cylinders. I kind of thought they would be a down year for them because they've lost so many players, especially on defense.
Yeah, but and their defense could still be an issue.
Yeah.
Going forward, but they're going to be good. They're going to be, one of the top teams in the AFC. The Ravens, I think, are the more interesting.
I think they found what they are. They figured it out.
Fucking Henry.
Yeah.
Hello, King Henry that guy is a freak. Mm-hmm. He's an absolute
run his ass to the ground.
So don't do that though, because you want him to be there for the postseason. Because in the postseason, he will brutalize people if he's still strong. Mm-hmm. I heard a blinding stat. That 87-yard run that he had against the Bills. Mm-hmm. He ran just as fast as Xavier Worthy, who ran a 4.240.
Oh, wow.
At the combine on Xavier Worthy's touchdown. He ran. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. He outweighs Xavier Worthy by 100 fucking pounds. Derrick Henry's a monster. That guy running downhill at you, you're like, as a DB, you're like, shit.
I can't drop hip tackle this guy.
Freight train coming out. Jesus Christ. He's an athlete, man. He's a genetic freak. Just like at that size, to be that good of an athlete is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
What do you think about the new rules, like the new kickoff?
Just to go back to that, he's like Adrian Peterson, but bigger and stronger,
Yeah,
which is hard to imagine because Adrian Peterson was a fucking monster.
He was a monster too.
Henry is the same way, but thicker. Mm-hmm. He's actually thicker than Adrian Peterson.
And just runs just as fast.
Yeah, he's just
not faster.
He's insane. Hopefully he can stay healthy because he has been running, over his career, but he's got the body to withstand it. So we'll see if it continues. And the Ravens are going to want to run the ball.
They are definitely. They're a running team. What about you? Where do you think Devontae Adams is going to go? because obviously he's gonna get traded. You have any
I don't know if
specific
it's
spot?
obvious. I don't know if it's obvious.
I'm gonna get a beer while
Yes,
you talk.
please. Thank you. So I don't know that it's obvious. So I think to me the Pliny the Elder is what you're saying. So okay, to go back to this is the moment I've been waiting for. So
Pliny, right? Right?
when he couldn't fucking pronounce Pliny the Elder.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of beer drinkers out there have heard of Pliny the Elder. Okay, you've heard of it.
This is my dad's favorite beer, so
It's
he's never had it. I've had it a couple times.
It's kind of a low key trendy kind of beer. So it's just funny.
I couldn't remember what it was called.
Pliny. That's all, folks.
Yeah. All right. This out of here. Beer night. Cracking new beers.
We don't have any coasters because you moved them all over the place.
They're over there.
Okay, so you know what? You fucking talk about Devontae. I'm gonna go get some coasters.
Okay, you go get some coasters.
Bar.
Could Devontae go to the Jets? That's where he wanted to go at the beginning of the year from the rumors that I heard. That's the only real place I see, but like the Jets don't have very much trade capital to do it. I don't know where the fuck he's gonna go, honestly. Who needs a receiver right now? What team needs something to get him over that hump?
The obvious answer is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, they don't need shit. They're 4-0. They don't need that shit.
They just lost Rasheed Rice. They lost their number one.
No, I think he's okay. Oh, is he? I don't think he tore.
Rasheed Rice is out for a long period.
He is?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought I heard he saw.
He's not on IR,
No.
but he's out.
He's
so
out. Maybe Kansas City. Yeah.
That's an obvious one. I don't know that they're going to go after him because it's not really Kansas City's MO.
Yeah.
I think they might be like, okay, we're just going to get the ball to Kelsey and Xavier Worthy and whoever we got behind.
Whoever we got.
That's just kind of what they do.
Yeah.
They sign.
They squeak by fucking wins like crazy too.
That's what championship teams do. Is they win close games, right? So they did sign
the refs helping them, but
they did. They did sign Kareem Hunt, right? When what's his name? Pacheco got hurt.
Yeah.
So, but that's an easy sign, right? They got him for nothing, for pennies.
He's a good. He's really good at the goal line because Kareem Hunt, he was a Brown, and he's really good at fucking just getting into that end zone at the goal line. He can find his way.
The thing is he's way past his prime.
He might be. I don't know. He did pretty good last year when Chubb went down. They signed Hunt back to the Browns, and he did a decent job with the Browns.
He didn't do that good.
I mean, they got him to the playoffs, so with Flacco, but
not him.
Hunt,
Flacco was far more responsible. It wasn't Kareem Hunt.
I mean,
Kareem Hunt.
He had a part in it.
Yards per carry were terrible.
I don't know.
They were terrible. It was like 3.6 or some shit. It was not good.
All right.
So that's a hoppy ass beer, Pliny the Elder. No wonder the hipsters like it.
Yeah,
because it tastes like a fucking IPA.
It does taste like an IPA. Well, there you go.
Anyway,
I guess my dad's a hipster. Look out, Dad. You're hip.
No, you're not.
All right. All right. Well, and maybe that's an option right there.
I don't like the Jets. Let's just say that because
so
the media was saying that at the beginning of the season because of it's Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and they played together in Green Bay. So wouldn't it be nice if they played together? Typical stupid simple narrative that takes zero thought and zero intuition. I think someone's going to come out of nowhere and sign him.
Give me the Browns.
No, the Browns have Cooper and Judy. They're not going to sign him. So I think he could go somewhere like the Bills. Maybe. I think it's going to be a weird team that we don't expect. I feel like something's going to end up like fucking Carolina or some shit. Or Washington.
I could see Washington,
with Scary Terry.
Yeah.
Something odd like that. I could even, you know what I could also No, I was gonna say the Chargers, but at the same time I'm like, nah, I don't see them making a move like that. I just Rams.
Yeah, maybe.
They got unless they. It depends on how they feel about Cup. Cup's
Yeah.
going to be coming back soon. I don't know
Yeah.
about Nakua. If they get Cup and Nakua back, they're like, we're good at receiver. But if Nakua's going to be out for a while and they put Cup in the slot and put Devontae on the outside, I mean that's pretty big right there. I don't. But that's just pure speculation. Like the only thing I would say that he would stay with the Raiders if it wasn't for the fact that the Raiders came out and said. Otherwise, if it was just him saying he would prefer a trade, this is fucking white noise. I don't care about that. But the team coming out and say, "Hey, we're open for business," that's a little bit more glaring.
He can go anywhere. Like any team that has the best offer. Pretty much. I don't think he has a no trade clause.
I could see the Chiefs doing it because Hollywood Brown's not coming off IR before the postseason. Rasheed Rice is going to miss some time. I could see them doing it. I just don't know. It depends on. I would have to look at the particulars of the money it would cost them and salary and stuff like that because the Chiefs are kind of they're not big on they're signing flashy free agents per se. He's not a free agent; they would have to trade for him, but still. They're not. That's not really their style per se. They're usually good with what they got. They're like, hey, we know what we're doing here, and they do. In fairness, they do. They know they're a dynasty right now for a reason. So they don't need to make a big splash like that per se. They still have Mahomes. If they can get Kelsey going in Rasheed Rice's absence, then all bets are off.
Yeah. All right.
I don't really see the Jets happening. Because I know the media loves. Oh well, he used to play with Aaron Rodgers, so why don't he play with him now? Like
I don't even know if they have any good trade.
Garrett Wilson is better. Garrett Wilson is better.
He is. Yeah.
The problem is their offense and their offensive line is not working properly. Like putting Devontae Adams in there. I mean, okay, what? I mean, they have receivers. They do. Here's why they won't sign Devontae Adams. You want to know why? Because they signed Mike Williams.
Right.
If Mike Williams is healthy, they're the same fucking player, except Mike Williams is younger. Now, if they're worried about Mike Williams getting hurt again, which he has made of glass, so it's entirely possible. But they don't. They have Wilson. They have Mike Williams. They have Alan Lazard, who Rodgers clearly loves.
Yeah, he seems like he likes that.
Where's Devontae Adams fitting in that? It's just not. No. They need to fix the rest of their offensive issues. They don't another pass catcher. They have pass catchers. They do. Right. So I don't really see it other than the people are like, ooh, the Adams Rodgers connection. Now I would buy him going to New Orleans to play with Derek Carr more. That's why he went to the Raiders. But even that's a simple, stupid connection because like, oh well, he went to the Raiders to play with Carr. So maybe he'll go to the Saints to play with Carr. The Saints have receivers. Yeah, they do. They don't need him. They really don't. They have Rashid Shaheed. They have Chris Olave. What do they need Devontae Adams for? There's no need there to trade for him. If he's a free agent, you're getting him on the cheap. That's one thing. But why are you trading? Why? What's the draw?
I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, eventually.
You know who we didn't mention? Who all the media loves to mention?
Who?
Who does the media love to mention in every football story?
Either Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady.
No.
Team. Oh, team?
What team is
Cowboys! Losers.
We need a number 2 for CeeDee Lamb, right?
Yeah, of course.
He's the clear number 1.
Yeah,
we need number 2.
Go to the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Well,
how about them? Cowboys?
They can barely pay their own players. I don't fucking pay for
Do it. Trade for him.
Trade.
It's a dumbass move. Yeah. You should have gotten Derrick Henry when you had the chance. Go get Devontae Adams instead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go do 4. All right. That wraps up NFL talk. What about the MLB playoffs starting? Ready for the MLB hunt for November. or is it October? Usually, World Series in November starts in November. Usually, but
No, well, usually it was always October.
Yeah, but scheduling is all fucking crazy.
Hence, Mr. October for Reggie Jackson.
But Detroit beat Houston. They won that series, so they're moving on. Kansas City beat Baltimore, so they're moving on.
Can we talk about Shohei for a second?
Shohei, yes.
So
Shohei.
that fucking.
Did you watch that?
So when I was at work, but they did have it on the TV at work, so it kind of counts. I just love the fact that he just kind of made the world his bitch on that day.
Like my God, dude,
that was so beautiful because a lot of talk I was hearing before that game was, can he break the record or can he not? And if he doesn't break the record, is it still as great of a season? Because the numbers are relatively arbitrary. Because 49 and 49, isn't that like still a great fucking season? It's like we talk about with the triple double, right? If you average, 18, 10 and 10, is that as good as someone who averages 39 and 9? But it's not a triple double.
Yeah.
But the 18, 10, and 10, we're like, oh, but it's triple double.
Yeah.
But the person who averages 39 and 9 clearly is better, right? Yeah. Clearly, but it's not a triple double. So I understand the idea of, look, if he hits 52 home runs and has 49 stolen bases, or 55 home runs and 49 stolen bases, is it diminished because it's not 50-50? But then he just goes, so the conversation was there, and then he just goes out in this game and just like, hold my beer.
Here you go. I got it for you.
Hold my beer.
I got it. You can have it back.
6 for 6.
Yeah.
3 home runs, 2 stolen bases, 10 fucking RBI. Thanks for playing. Thanks for coming.
Man.
Good night.
Yeah.
Come again.
Guy's the man, bro.
See you next time.
But like
that was fucking insane. Insane.
It was.
That's called going out with style.
But still, like the whole 50-50 thing, like 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases, the stolen base thing is still like it's cool, but like how about like 50 home runs and like 100 RBIs or 150 RBIs?
Well, but if you listen to analytics, people RBIs mean nothing anymore. So
I don't know. I don't get the stolen base thing.
What about the player? I forget his name. Sorry, I'm bad with names. But the player that had 45 home runs and like 70 stolen bases, right? So it's like
was it Acuna Jr.?
Yeah, Acuna. Yeah, thank you. So is that Ronald? Yeah. Is that not as good as 50 and 50? Because it's not those round, pretty numbers. Again, like triple double, right? Mm-hmm. It's not. It's like we like those round, pretty numbers. Like there's something that we can live on. Now, the fact that Shohei is the first guy to ever do 50-50 and 40-40 was a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's like he didn't just do 40-40, he crushed it, right? He goes 50-50, no one's ever done that before. And it's significant.
It's cool. It's cool.
It's great. But again, we're kind of burying the lead. The part that I loved about it is that there was that talk of like, well, if he's like, does he really need 50-50?
Yeah,
it could still just be just as great of a season if he does it in another. If he does numbers in another way,
50-40, or
then he just comes out
50-30
in that next game and just
obliterates
everybody.
Yeah,
it's like
all right, you're the man. No matter. Okay, I can't.
Conversation ended, I guess. So good game, Shohei.
Yeah.
Just obliterates. Like it was epic.
Very epic. So, who do you got going to a World Series in these playoffs coming in? Baseball, bro. Baseball. San Diego's fucking balling right now too. I mean, LA and San Diego, I think they're the top two teams in the NL. Phillies are right there as well. I give Phillies right there, like right in the middle of LA and San Diego. The American League, it's either going to be New York or Cleveland, I think. Because the Cleveland has the number one bullpen all year long.
I'm
end of
shocked
the year, number
that
one.
you would throw your hat in the Cleveland ring.
I mean, they are. I mean, New York is the number one team in the American League. Cleveland is right behind them, number 2. They almost caught New York with a number. I think they're like a game or two behind the
New
number one
York is still
seed.
sketchy to me. Like
New York
there's-
is they don't have the starting pitching
Yeah.
like they used to.
Yeah.
Cleveland,
like they used to. When did they have it?
I
They've just
mean,
had big hitting.
They
Like,
do have big hitting. Cleveland has okay starting pitching, but their bullpen has backed them up so well. And I'm Cleveland done this all the time. They always they're great and they go out in the first round. They stop hitting. They don't hit at all in the postseason. It's fucking weird.
Sounds like Cleveland. Too.
Yeah, it sounds like the same fucking bullshit. I don't see any other team in the AL dominating like those two teams would. So it's kind of up to those two teams. I think,
feel like
as
with
well.
baseball, it's just there's always kind of a dark horse that comes through. Don't count out Houston, even though they lost their first game in the playoffs.
Even the underdogs too. Like just baseball, like the underdogs can get hot too.
Yeah, because pitchers get hot. So it's pitching is so important in the postseason. Hitting is great for numbers, but pitching in the postseason just gets so big.
And baseball to me is more just unpredictable, kind of. Like you don't especially the past couple of years. I didn't expect Texas to fucking win last year because
the Diamondbacks,
the Diamondbacks
to get there,
yeah, get there as well.
Yeah, that was insane.
Insane.
Right? So it's
you never know.
To be fair to this conversation, I don't follow baseball enough to give like detailed analysis of it, but it feels like it's fairly wide open. Like it just feels that way. I don't know what it is, and I know that's crackerjack analysis. So you're welcome.
Yeah. And LA's become the New York pretty much. Like it's just they are always destined to go, and
pitching,
they fucking
man.
fail.
It's pitching. It's
pitching.
And
they've had injuries too.
Pitching. Kershaw's old.
Yeah.
Walker Buehler is not what he used to be, and I really wanted him to come back because so being in SoCal, I used to love watching Walker Buehler pitch because that guy threw fucking gas. He threw gas. He didn't go over 100, but he would throw fucking 98 and then throw a fucking 91 mile an hour breaking ball, and it's like this guy is fucking throwing gas, but he got hurt. He hasn't been the same. So it's like pitching is so important. That's what's always the Dodgers still won one.
Yeah,
they still
COVID year.
They still won. What it was? Lakers. They won in the bubble. It don't count. Even though all the teams played in the same conditions.
All right. Well, we'll probably talk MLB next time around. Probably
we at least made the MLB interesting.
Effort. Yes, we did.
I don't know how we got that much conversation.
A lot of conversation. But yeah, there you go. I got LA in Cleveland in the World Series. Cleveland winning. That's my pick.
Homer.
Yes. The NBA season starts probably a couple weeks.
Let's skip over that.
You don't want to talk about preview of the NBA season?
No.
All right, who's going to the finals?
The NBA season is way too long. We got plenty of time to talk about it.
We do.
It's like okay, so like in February, were we previewing the fucking MLB season?
Yeah. No.
You know why?
Who's going to the finals this year?
It
don't matter. All right. Fair enough. NBA, you're going to have to wait because NFL's still king. WNBA, have you watched any of that? No. I remember our last episode, we said we would.
To be fair, I did want to. It's not like I was ignoring it. I just been so busy lately and wrapped up in other shit and all kinds of stuff going on. So I just haven't really. To be fair, I haven't really watched much sports at all. I've made time for the NFL because it's the NFL, but and fantasy football too. I don't play fantasy. I don't play fantasy WNBA. I really don't.
So I mean, I haven't watched any games really either, but I've watched. I enjoyed watching the highlights and stuff, and then what sports media talks about the WNBA.
If you want to talk about a sport that I do watch actively, it's still Formula One.
Formula One.
Yes.
Let's talk about Formula One. I don't watch, but apparently you do.
We can talk about the WNBA. If
WNBA. I mean,
I like the WNBA. To me, so it's gone. We talked about this in the last episode too.
Yes.
Like
the Caden Clark
the
effect
fact that it's become
there's
so much more of an
so much-
exciting sport
yes,
is a
it has,
testament
yes.
to Caitlin, not just her, but the other players that came
Yeah.
out as well. But
Yeah.
but primarily her. She's the
Mhm.
star. I mean, that's to be fair. But it has made the sport interesting, which is I've never had a problem with women's sports ever. We
No.
talked about that in the last
Yeah,
episode
we
where
did,
there
yeah.
have been other women's sports that have dominated and become interesting, but the WNBA always seemed to kind of lag behind and just never kind of really, despite having great
Yeah.
players like Lisa Leslie, Diana Taurasi, with Kenneth Parker, you know,
Yes,
they
yes.
had great players
Mhm.
that had buzz at a college,
Mhm.
but
But
when they
never,
came to
like,
it just never
never-
had that next level
Yeah.
spark in the WNBA. Caitlin's kind of brought that, and it's great to see because it just adds more to
Yeah.
the sports
to everybody else. Yeah.
to the sports kind of
And-
vernacular
yeah.
and the sports medium.
Mhm.
But for me, I feel like her time and the other rookies' time is next year. This year,
I'm
none
surprised
of them are
that
quite ready.
it was the Indiana
Fever?
Fever. I'm surprised they made the playoffs. That was a shock. We
No,
I remember
okay, so
we in the prediction of the last episode we didn't think they would.
well, nobody thought they would.
No.
So, and again, that's a testament to
Yeah.
Caitlin and her impact.
I mean,
and
at
how
the second
she,
half of the season, they
how
got it
she
going.
developed as a player, because that team turned into something, and
Mhm.
she turned into by far the rookie of the year,
Yeah.
and she's going to be an easy candidate for MVP next year, easy. So watch out because she's coming, and you know there's still so many great players in the league, and but all the talk at the beginning, we talked about this in the last episode,
Yeah.
not to keep saying that, but we talked about how, look, it was a month into the season at the time or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's like she took like a month off between college and
Mhm.
pros. It's like everybody's freaking
Yeah.
out about how she started off slow. So it's like, just fuck down. It's like we talk about rookies in the NFL too. It's like, Jane Daniels got off to a hot start. Great. Not everybody's going to do that. Not everybody's going to be CJ
Even
Stroud.
like CJ Stroud, yeah. I was
Like,
saying, yeah.
Bo Nix needs time. Caleb Williams needs time.
Mhm.
Like it's maybe they will end up being busts. Maybe they won't. It's gonna shake out.
Mhm.
Caitlin Clark's not a bust.
No.
Angel Reese is not a bust.
Mhm.
Those players are going to be
Mhm.
dominant
Dominant.
for a
Yep.
lot of years to
Mhm.
come, barring injury.
And we're just getting started with them, so fantastic, awesome to watch
Formula
and
One.
see the highlights. Formula One. What do you got for me on that? Because I don't watch it very much. So, got any news on that?
Yeah, well, I
talk
mean,
about?
if you follow it, the season's got much more exciting because
Mhm.
Red Bull and Max Verstappen are not dominating anymore. McLaren has kind of come out of nowhere to all of a sudden have the best car, and they have a great set of drivers. And those two drivers were drivers to watch last season when they didn't have as good of a car. And this season they've proved it because both of those drivers, Oscar Piastri's only in his second year, and he's one of the best drivers in the field. That's crazy to say in Formula One
on a
because
second
it
year,
is,
huh?
it is the tippy
Yeah.
top of the drivers in the world. And
Sophomore year, huh?
he's right there. He's right there. He's won a race. He's placed in the top 5 numerous times. Placed on the podium in the top 3 numerous times. The kid is a phenom, and he's going to be a star for a long time to come. Lando Norris could very well win this championship and take it from Max, depending on how things go the rest of the season. That's what's going to make it exciting, because now all of a sudden they have the fastest car. Their upgrades, they've made their car the fastest. Red Bull is kind of stepping back a little bit, and Mercedes is kind of a little sneaky in there too.
Where did I'm sorry, where did Hamilton go to? Because he
He's still
changed,
a
right?
Mercedes. He's going to Ferrari next year.
It's next year.
Yes.
Okay.
He's still a Mercedes
okay.
right now.
Okay. That's the only thing I know. I don't know anything
I mean,
else.
he's arguably the GOAT, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's the most notable to
yeah.
people outside the sport because he's won 7 championships. Yeah, the only other driver to win 7 championships is Michael Schumacher, who's my GOAT.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd put him as the GOAT.
All right.
But Lewis is right there. I mean, right there. He's a fantastic driver. He did win a race this season, which was great to see. And their car has been quick. It's been fast. Like they've kind of Mercedes is having a little bit of a comeback after they slip back a little bit. There's our Formula One
talk.
Stay
What about
tuned because it's a long ass fucking kind of like baseball. It's a long ass fucking season.
Yes.
I don't think I'm gonna make it to the Las Vegas Grand Prix this year.
No,
I went last year. I was there.
They're gonna do it again.
Box. What are you talking about? The contract's like for 6 years.
Oh my god.
So I was in box seats right on the fucking track last year for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. It was amazing. I can't wait to watch it on TV this year. I won't be there live this year. I won't be there this year. But last year was fucking incredible.
That's badass. It's badass.
Dude, it was insane.
Yeah.
And, fuck all the people in Las Vegas that complain about it. Whatever. You guys are bitches. Enjoy the sport. Enjoy some sport in your town. You guys embraced the fucking, you know why they hate it?
Oakland.
For a bitchy-ass reason. Because they don't like traffic.
Fuck traffic.
It creates problems for
It
them.
does.
I get it. I mean, I get it. It's a pain in the ass. But that's because it's auto racing. It is what it is. It's a street circuit.
Mm-hmm.
So, every other country that has a street circuit around the fucking world, there's lots of them, by the way. They don't complain. You know why? Because they're not fucking bitches like Americans are. So.
All right. Fair enough.
Calm down.
Any golf news? I don't know what's going on with golf. So
Season's over.
Season's over?
President's Cup just happened, but nobody cares about the President's Cup. Everybody cares about the Ryder Cup.
All right.
And the U.S. won the President's Cup.
Okay.
Cool. Congratulations.
USA.
I didn't watch it because I was busy.
USA.
But they won the President's Cup.
Mm-hmm.
The Ryder Cup is the one that everybody cares.
The Ryder Cup, yeah.
So here's what I find funny about this. This is an interesting kind of tangent I'm going to get into.
Okay.
Golf. I don't really get this. It seems very discriminatory for me. I don't really get how this works and why people are okay with it.
It's like, there you go.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Broham. So I don't really understand why I'm still registering low.
Yeah, you are. You weren't earlier. So
what the hell is going on?
I don't know.
Your mic sucks.
No, they're fine.
Okay. Anyway, so I don't really understand. Would be one kind of plus into doing segments is that we could
sound check, but I still see the bar going. So
hopefully, when this episode's over, we don't have to scrap it because we listen to it and be like, "Oh shit, we can't hear anything," and we just record the whole thing in one shot.
We'll be all right.
So here's what I don't understand about the President's Cup versus the Ryder Cup. So, are you familiar with the President's Cup?
No.
Ryder
I still say no. Ryder Cup, barely. I kind of like they pick certain players to play for
the Ryder Cup
right?
is the U.S. versus Europe.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like
the President's Cup.
U.S., Europe, and other places.
The President's Cup is U.S. versus international, so the rest of the world, not Europe.
Okay.
So I don't understand this. Okay, so the U.S. gets to play every year. The rest of the international players are shut out, and they don't get to play in every other year because the Ryder Cup's only Europe, and the President's Cup is the rest of the world.
Okay.
I don't understand this, particularly because the Ryder Cup is so much more popular than the President's Cup.
Yeah.
So all of the big-time international players, I think of someone like Ernie Els.
Yeah. You
So
think
Hall of
President's
Fame-
Cup would be higher up there, right?
But it's not. But I think of someone like Ernie Els, who's a Hall of Famer, right? 4-time major champion. Besides Phil Mickelson, was the only real challenger to Tiger Woods during his reign, right? Great player, amazing player, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Never got to play in a Ryder Cup, which is a huge event. Never got to play because he's not allowed to. Why? Because he's from South Africa. And only Europeans can play, and Americans, of course, can play in the Ryder Cup. I don't understand this. I don't really get it. It just doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Like, why? Why? Does that make sense to you?
ESPN are asking you. I don't.
Does that make sense to you?
No,
Someone like Ernie fucking Els, okay, was not allowed to play in the Ryder Cup because of where he's from.
Where he's from, yeah.
And the Ryder Cup is a monstrous event.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It is.
It's huge.
It is.
And Ernie Els was like, sorry, you can't play in this.
Is it?
You're the second or third best player in the world, but no, we don't want you.
Do they play at the same course every year, or is it a different course?
It rotates around. Yeah.
Okay.
So it goes all over.
Yeah.
But to me, I always found that weird. But in golf, I just kind of accepted it. It's like, oh yeah, no one cares. It's just kind of like, whatever, it's cool. So Rory McIlroy can't play in the President's Cup.
Oh yeah.
No one cares because the President's Cup doesn't have near the cachet that the Ryder Cup does, and he plays in the Ryder Cup, and that's where he gets all of his as far as team events.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just kind of weird that Rory fucking McIlroy cannot play in the President's Cup.
It's kind of weird.
But to me, the biggest one is the players that can play in the President's Cup: Jason Day, Ernie Els, Adam Scott, all of these amazing, Greg fucking Norman, all of these guys that were amazing players can't play in the Ryder Cup because they're not from fucking Europe. I don't get it, or the U.S. for that matter. But the U.S. can play in every one.
Every one, yeah.
So
everyone.
Phil and Tiger could play in every fucking
Ryder Cup, President's Cup, anything.
Yeah. So who's the top player now?
Scheffler?
Yeah, Scotty Scheffler can play in both the Ryder and the
I don't even know
Scotty
golf too
well, you
much,
got it. Scotty Scheffler. I want to say Xander Schauffele because to me their names are so close, but they're really not. Their first names are far apart, but their last names are close. But Scotty Scheffler can play in both of them.
Yeah. And
there's players that can't. Like, it just doesn't really make sense to me that we're just kind of okay with that. A guy like, again, the guys that play in the Ryder Cup don't give a fuck about the President's Cup. They're like, whatever, we'll take this fall off. We'll play next year in the Ryder Cup. But the guys that were great players that had to sit on their fucking couch and watch the Ryder Cup go on and watch how much attention it gets and watch the fans and watch the players go crazy and like because the Ryder Cup is one of the rowdiest events because it's not as buttoned up as the PGA Tour or the majors. Yeah. So Ernie Els can't play in a fucking Ryder Cup. I don't get it. Like he's the guy's one of the best players of his generation, and he's like, and they're just like, nah, you can't play here because you're not from Europe. Like, I don't get it. Like, it always kind of bugged me. It's like, and they're like, so, but then the President's Cup comes along, and it's like, oh, Ernie Els can play in this, but nobody's watching. Nobody cares. Like, even the President's Cup, like I mentioned, now U.S. won the President's Cup. You're like, oh, cool.
Who won the Riders?
That's next year.
That's next year.
Yeah.
All right.
And by the way, none of the players that played in the President's Cup on the international side will be able to play in the Riders Cup next year. Yeah, you got to be from Europe. I don't really understand it.
It's kind of weird.
Why wouldn't it just be?
It's different.
Why wouldn't it just be the U.S. versus the international every year?
Every year.
The Ryder
Why
Cup
not?
can still have its cachet. Like, I don't think it would be diminished that much. I know the European countries that get super passionate about the Ryder Cup. Like, I think they would still be all about it. Like, I don't think it would be diminished.
No. Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe that's their idea. It's like if we all of a sudden took all the international players, it would be watered down. Maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know. But it's just kind of weird to me that the international players get the shitty one, the President's Cup, the one that nobody cares about. Yeah. But the European players get the Ryder Cup, which everybody's all about. You'll see it on fucking PTI all over ESPN.
Yeah,
all the time. President's Cup is kind of like an afterthought. It's like, oh yeah, this happened, by the way.
I guess.
Weird.
Before we end our sports segment, we forgot something in the baseball segment. We got to say cheers, rest in peace to Pete Rose.
That's right.
Pete Rose.
You're right. We did forget about that.
We did forget about Pete Rose, one of the greatest baseball hitters of all times. 4,256.
Are we gonna,
I think I said.
Hold on. Are we going to say one of the greatest, or is he the
He's
greatest?
The greatest hitter of all time. Baseball hitter of all time. And fucking just fucking full force, like, in your face, like,
Charlie Hustle, right?
Yeah, Charlie Hustle. Yeah, there you go. That's what I was just trying to get to, but yeah. Just I can't believe he passed away. What was he? 84?
Did I ever? Did I ever tell you the story when I saw him
in Vegas? Right?
Yeah,
it was in Vegas
at the MGM Grand.
Yeah. He was signing autographs somewhere,
and there was no one there.
Nobody there.
I walked by and I saw him sitting at a fucking table, and there no one there.
Did you go up? I can't remember. Did you go up to him?
No, I did not. No, I'm not. It's not really my style. But
I guess nobody was there. You could have been the one.
I guess
start it all. One ring to rule them all.
Yeah, it was just in some shop at the MGM
Yeah,
Grand.
yeah.
And just,
Signing autographs.
we were walking by. I think we were going to
Yeah.
the pool.
Yeah.
And you walk at the MGM Grand. You walk through this whole little mall-ish area to get to the
Yeah,
pool
yeah.
where the restaurants are and there's some shops. And I just look to my left and I see fucking Pete Rose sitting there. I'm like, that's Pete Rose. Wife's like, who?
It's every wife.
Chalk,
Yeah, it's every
right?
wife.
Yeah, it's just
by the way,
yeah,
but yeah.
cliche.
Who?
But it's kind of like when I said, "Oh, in the Mandalay Bay," I'm like, "Look, there's Charles Barkley. There he is in the high limit room playing table games because he loves to gamble.
Yeah.
Like there he is." She's
Chuck?
like, "Who?" It's Chuck, the Chuckster. No, Pete Rose.
Pete Rose.
I mean, legendary player, right?
Legend.
So, do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. And I know the sports segment is long-winded, even though this is not a segment. But do you think fans of sports in general care about the Hall of Fame, whether it's MLB, NFL? Do you think we care that a certain player is in the Hall of Fame?
Long term, no. I think we care about it more as a celebratory event.
Yeah.
You know, something on TV to watch, something to hear about announced on ESPN.
Yeah.
But long term, no, I don't think so. We're not. You're not listening to, or remembering. I don't want to say listening. Remembering players based on whether they're a Hall of Famer or not. We may list it on their resume, like when I say Ernie Els is a Hall of Famer. Like I'm listing it just as a credential, but that's not the reason I remember who he is. I remember who he is because of his play. Hall of Fame is just a resume tick, right? It's bigger for them.
It's even in music too, like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Do we
No.
care that a certain band
No,
or
it's more
artist is in the Hall of Fame?
It's a badge.
Yeah.
It's an accomplishment for sure. You
Yeah.
know, especially in certain genres, like with when you talk about music, like you know, it kind of signifies a certain appeal and a certain meaning. But no, it's not going to make you like their music anymore. It's not going to make you remember them anymore.
Yeah.
It's just an accomplishment, nothing more. So, Pete Rose, for example, accomplished many things that are going to be remembered. The Hall of Fame doesn't solidify them or doesn't you know, make them more significant. It just it would have been an accomplishment for him, and certainly he wanted to get there. But I'm torn. I don't necessarily believe he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. I do and I don't. I recognize both sides of the coin, where I think that on a basic level, on just a basic level, I think of Pete Rose, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, I think Hall of Famers.
I do too. Same.
Even A-Rod to a certain extent, although not as much as Bonds. To me, Bonds is the better player.
Yeah.
But I that's what I think, but at the same time, I recognize the rules, and I'm like, yeah, but you broke the rules. Or at least with Bonds and Clemens, it's more clouded. With Pete Rose, he clearly broke the rules and got himself banned, and it is what it is. It sucks. Yeah. It sucks, and he's definitely, if ever there was a Hall of Famer, that's one right there.
One right there.
But at the same time, it's like, but it just kind of is what it is. I don't know. Like I see both sides of it, where it's like, could we make an exception? Sure. At the same time, could you stick to the rule? Sure. Like either way, like it kind of makes sense either way. Yeah. I don't really see a dividing. I think it's more subjective and it's more an opinion argument. But I listen to Dan Patrick a lot, and he makes a great point. It's like no one made more out of not being a Hall of Famer than Pete Rose. Oh, yeah. Pete Rose was far more successful for not being a Hall of Famer than he was for being a Hall of Famer. Exactly. Because he got so much longevity and notoriety out of not being in the Hall of Fame. He was on the tips of so many people's tongues. Yeah. And in the media, so much more for not being. For not being,
exactly.
So, and that's a great point. It's like, but to him, it would have been better if he was in the Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah, for him.
But for
personally, but for fans. Like, and of these sports, do we care?
And honestly, for him, we say that for him, for his peace of mind, it would have been better. But for his wallet, it wouldn't have been. He made money signing autographs because of his infamy.
Yeah.
Because of his infamy, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
That's why he was in Vegas, although there was no one there. At least not the time that I walked by. It may have been earlier or later. I don't know. But he was at the Hall of Fame every year, signing autographs outside.
Yeah.
Because of infamy, he wouldn't have been able to do that if he was just put it on. So there's this kind of this dichotomy there. That's like, I don't know. Either way, it could work to me.
All right. Fair enough. I think that wraps out our sports talk. Let's talk music now. You're gonna keep drinking that beer. I'm almost done with mine.
All right, so music. What are we talking about with music here?
So obviously it is Halloween season, if you can't fucking tell. Zach, my buddy. We haven't even talked about him in a minute. It's been an hour and a half, and
He
he's
needs
drinking
to
some
partake.
Pliny.
He needs to partake. Pliny?
Yes, Pliny, right? That's right.
Pliny.
Pliny?
Pliny the Elder.
Pliny the Elder. Pliny the Elder.
Pliny, not Polini.
Whatever. Zach, definitely going to vote for Lex Luthor. I think so. He should run as an independent, and I would vote for him. But music. Music segment now. Halloween edition. So this is like our top 5 scary
songs.
Halloween songs.
What if we have like a top 30? Is that okay?
That could work too as well. So I've done this in the past. I think it was like our episode 6, I think. I've done this myself, but then Chris went off the roads, and then
I did the Van Halen. Yeah, because Eddie died.
Yeah, he passed away.
Well, yeah, I had to do that.
Yeah, you got to do that. So,
Jesus.
So I went back and watched what my top 5 was, and boy, oh boy, I've changed it quite a bit.
Interesting.
It is different now than what it was like 4 years
so
ago.
Then you want me to start, and then you can go to your changes.
Sure, if you want to do that.
I'm going through changes.
So yeah, if you want to start this one, top 5 Halloween scary.
I'm not sure if this is in a particular order. Let me see.
This is our top 5. You gotta have it in a fucking order.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go number 5. I've got a lot of honorable mentions here, so we'll get to those after.
Right.
We'll get to those after. So I'm gonna be quick with those. So, but I'm gonna go number 5. I think I'm gonna go Ghost. Satan Prayer.
Ooh. That's in my honorable mentions. So, I almost put it number 5 as well. Actually, so, that is spot on.
Yeah, I love it.
Put that there.
I love it because it's. I just love the way it kind of is demonic and evil sounding, but also super melodic and kind of, pleasing at the same time.
By the way.
Yeah.
This is fucking good, dude.
Yeah, there's a reason I bought it.
It's a good beer.
So,
it tastes good.
But anyway, so this song was like, if it's just it's so menacing in that it's like it lulls you into a false sense of security and make you think it's it's Ghost, like it's just Ghost. That's what they do. They have these super pretty melodies, but then they're talking about Satan the whole time, and it kind of works in what they're doing. It's tongue in cheek, but at the same time, just kind of like. It has the seance feel to it, and it's scary in that it kind of like makes you kind of want to just chant along to it.
There's a song by them called "He Is."
Yeah,
yes. And it's a like you feel like you're like in a church song, but it's talking about Satan. And I'm like,
it's beautiful.
What the fuck?
It's beautiful.
I'm like, I could play this for my family, and hopefully they don't hear the lyrics. You just hear the melody.
But that's what's cool about it, and that's what's fun about it, and it makes
Satan's Prayer too.
Makes a great Halloween
That's
song.
a good number 5.
I think so. Number 4, I think I'm gonna go. So by a band called Barren Earth, I'm gonna go The Dead Exiles. Ooh. This is a great death metal song. And it's what I really like about Barren Earth is their more progressive stuff that kind of gives you more folky stuff and more kind of melodic stuff. This one doesn't really do that. It's just pure evil kind of death metal sounding, but in a great way, not in an overbearing way. It's not abrasive like Cannibal Corpse. It still has that European kind of death metal style. And the way it kind of goes super slow and doomy at first, it does sound really scary and kind of ominous. And then it goes kind of not quite thrashy, but it picks it up and kind of goes almost in a Black Sabbath type feel, where it picks it up kind of mid-range and kind of gets the freight train going a little bit, and still has that kind of evil, kind of ominous sound. It just really works. It really works from a pure like European death metal song and not their more progressive stuff, which I tend to like better. But this works really well in kind of that avenue, and I like it a lot. Number 3, I'm gonna go South of Heaven, Slayer.
You're going South of Heaven with Slayer. Okay.
Because just it just has a really, again, doomy kind of ominous feel.
Yeah.
The riff is great for that kind of like, just kind of really kind of like dark kind of Slayer-ish feel. It's not thrashy. It's more mid-tempo.
It is very mid-tempo.
But I think that makes it better. It doesn't have the reckless abandon feel that a lot of Slayer thrashy stuff has. It's more kind of focused and kind of it feels more perfected in a lot of ways. Whereas Slayer, oftentimes, for lack of a better word, this sounds really negative. I don't want people to think I'm dumping on Slayer all the times I will. But a lot of Slayer's thrashy stuff comes off as sloppy. And for lack of a better word, so it just sounds very like unfocused at times. Even though it is, I'm not saying they are unfocused or that they are literally sloppy. It's just
the
more
fast parts feel.
Reckless abandon kind of
like
is what I kind of dial on. Like to me, it's a reckless abandonment, and I feel like South of Heaven doesn't have that. It just kind of flows perfectly and has this ominous kind of sense and feel to it that works really well. It'd be great in a haunted house. Number 2, the score for Halloween. I mean, what the fuck are we talking about here?
You're going that. All right.
Jesus Christ. I mean, it's one of John Carpenter wrote it. My man, John Carpenter, great director, also a great musician.
My buddy.
He wrote some amazing scores. The original fucking piano riff to Halloween. I mean, come on. You fuck with that. It's like such a well-written little score for such a low-budget piece of shit movie that ends up being a classic. The score is a classic as well. Anytime you play that, everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody. And everybody's scared. Like, it's just like, oh shit, what's that?
Shit.
What's going on here? No, it's perfect. It's the perfect Halloween tune. It really is. It's not my number 1, though. It's not.
I already know what number 1 is.
What?
Black Sabbath.
Yes, Black Sabbath.
Come on, man.
Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath off the album Black fucking Sabbath.
Who would have thunk?
Talk about the greatest doom metal song of all time. This song emits doom. Doom, doom, fucking doom. Yeah. There's nothing doomier than this song. It just sounds like the fucking apocalypse. It really does.
It does.
We've talked about the impact of Black Sabbath before, but to realize that this is the first song off of the first album that they ever released to the world. Yeah. This is the first thing people hear in 1970. The first thing you ever hear from this band, the first true heavy metal song. I know people want to talk about In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida and fucking other bullshit songs that were like Born to Be Wild and shit. Like, no. That is not heavy metal. Black Sabbath, the song and the band, are heavy metal. This is a perfect example. To this be the first, the way you introduce yourself to the world is beyond epic. It's so fucking doomy and scary sounding. Any haunted house ever, anywhere in Halloween, you play this song, it's like it's scarier than Halloween. Like there's nothing it's almost too dark.
Yeah,
it really is too dark. Because people are like, oh, we want to have candy and have fun. This is like, whoa, the shit just got dark.
Calm down.
So, I mean, I gotta give it up. Like it's the what people used to call the devil's note, right? The fifth. Like it's just the way Tony Iommi plays it, from playing it heavy to hard, and then brings it down and plays it soft. It just has this energy.
Just the sound of just his guitar.
Yeah, and just it has an energy. Even though it's so slow as far as a beats per minute standpoint, it's so slow, but it's so effective. And then when they pick it up at the end, it's kind of like what I talked about with South of Heaven. When they pick it up, it's like that or Dead Exiles is what I was talking about. It's got that Black Sabbath-y feel. This is the start of that. When they pick it up at the end, it's not thrash, but it's got that boom, 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 boom. It's got that freight train feel.
Someone's coming for you.
They pick it up. They pick it up, and as only Black Sabbath can do. It's legendary. And legendary is not even a strong enough word.
I feel you.
So Black Sabbath has got to be the number one. Honorable mentions, got a long list. I'm going to be quick. Mentioned Slayer. They've got a bunch of great ones that go into that. Raining Blood, obviously.
Yeah.
Angel of Death, fantastic. So here's kind of a not a deep cut per se, but kind of a surprising pick for me. I'm gonna go Stain, Suffocate.
Whoa, that is a deep. I did not.
I really like just the feel of that song. It's very dark and very ominous feeling. His vocals are some of the best as far as dark and kind of ominous that he's ever done. That's a great song. I don't really listen to it. I used to love Stained.
Yeah.
Now I've kind of outgrown them.
Yeah,
but that's a song I will still go back to and be like, ooh, this is really dark and heavy and kind of ominous sounding. Hell's Bells, AC/DC. Not really scary, but great for Halloween.
Yeah.
It's just perfect. Let's talk about some Agalloch, okay? Some super atmospheric, dark, scary sounding music. I'm singled out Falling Snow and Not Unlike the Waves. But there's so many great Agalloch songs that could fit into this category. They just have this dark, kind of scary, ominous feel to them. There'd be, how about Alice in Chains? We Die Young, Them Bones. Those are obvious choices. But even something like Rooster, which is not about a scary. I mean, well, Vietnam War is a scary topic.
Just has that
ominous feel
of it. If like the song itself just has an eerie feeling.
Angry Chair. Hello.
Chair as well.
I mean, like.
But I want to go back to Rooster real quick. That song is just so eerie sounding, and the vocals too as well make it feel scary like almost.
Yeah, well, and it is about a scary. It's about the Vietnam War, which is a very scary topic. If you think about it in reality terms, not in Halloween terms, but in just in basic reality.
Tone
yeah,
it's just,
no, it's amazingly well written. How about some more Black Sabbath? Into the Void. Lord of this World, super dark, ominous sounding songs. Lyrically, they're not very scary, not like Black Sabbath is, but the tone and the fucking meanness behind it. There you go. Super dark. How about Creeping Death, The Call of Cthulhu? Super kind of like dark, be perfect in a haunted house type feel. The Thing That Should Not Be, great one. One. How about One? Like again, War, kind of like what was the song? Rooster, similar type feel, but more builds to a crescendo and it kind of explodes like a fucking landmine, right? Yeah. So like it just there's a certain feels that song brings about. So those are some of my honorable mentions. I could go on and on and on. I'm not going to get too crazy.
All right.
How different is your list?
My top 5, sir. Number 5. I'm going to go Night Prowler by AC/DC.
Oh, that's a good one. I like it. It. Yeah.
The vocals of Bon Scott are just so eerie.
Nasty,
stocky. It's a stalking song, obviously. But the guitar tone and the guitar solos and everything is very haunting as well.
It's worth noting that, and AC/DC doesn't really do that. AC/DC is a very hard driving, even Hell's Bells, right? Yeah. It's like very in your face kind of.
And my number 5, I would switch between Hell's Bells, that one, and another song. I'll get into my honorable mentions, but I'm going Night Prowler as my number 5. Just such an eerie.
It'd be a great song for a haunted house again.
It would be. My number 4. I'm gonna go The Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden.
Is it scary though?
So it's eerie at the beginning with the talking. And the vocals are very like he's so raspy and just evil sounding in that, but the music is very up tempo.
See, and that's the reason I went away. The reason why I didn't include any Iron Maiden in my list or honorable mentions is because I felt like the music just kind of goes away from it a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of does, but I still like it as a very good, scary, put that in a haunted house song
For sure, yeah.
as a number 4. I really like that as well. My number,
I don't know about top 5. Maybe honorable mention.
maybe honorable mentions, maybe
top 5. I don't know.
I think
it's a
it
little
does.
much.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to give a little Iron Maiden shout out there. My number 3, you put South of Heaven for Slayer. I'm gonna put Seasons in the Abyss.
See, that didn't even make my honorable mentions because I like it. Yes,
I feel like
it probably
it's
should be.
more-
It probably should be honorable mentions.
Especially
It's close.
the first like minute and a
Yeah,
half.
sure,
Is very dark and eerie
Yeah.
feeling to it.
It has a very
then-
Black
and
Sabbath
then-
feel.
And then like the vocals come in, like especially like Tom's fucking vocals on the chorus, it's very eerie sounding,
hmm
and just the entire song, especially the sound of it too, the guitars, it sounds very scary and eerie feeling. I flip flopped on South of Heaven in that song as well too. Those are my like, I think I give the edge to Seasons in the Abyss. My number 2. You put it in your honorable mentions. I'm putting it number 2. Metallica 1.
Oh, that's your number 2.
Number 2.
Wow. Okay.
Because at the beginning, the guitar part is very sad and moody and kind of eerie feeling. And then the lyrics come in and it's just so brutal and just
So I'll let you continue before you-
disgusting.
Yes.
And then it, it builds and builds and builds, and then you have this crescendo of just in your face, like, oh my god, this guy's going through so much fucking pain and suffering, and you feel it in the music too.
No,
as
it's
well.
an absolute work of
It's
art.
just-
It really is.
Great fucking.
Well, the thing about that song is, weirdly enough, even though it's always been a great song and it should have won a Grammy and all this stuff, but not that the Grammys mean anything because the Grammys are dog shit. But anyway, I digress. It almost gets better with age
It does.
because you listen to this song and it's like it's
Really,
it's
listen
by
to it.
far the best anti-war song ever to me. Like I love War Pigs. War Pigs is insane.
Mhm.
But one is just like the way it tells a story and builds and explodes. It also has the feels that what you're talking about, where you feel every second of it. It's an absolute work of art. It really is. And not that all the music we're talking about are works of art. But that to me it's a masterpiece to end all masterpieces. Like the way it's written and the way it builds and the way it kind of alternates, but then still builds. And it's just it creates a mood that's palpable. Like you feel every second of that song.
Especially like the solo part, you feel like you're just rushing into destruction and chaos, and just like, oh my god, dude, what the fuck is going on? Especially if you follow the lyrics in that song and then go through everything that's going on in that song. It's fucking haunting. My number 1, I mean, you guess it.
Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath off the album Black fucking Sabbath.
Come on, obviously, right? And you said enough about this song. I'll say this you haven't said is Ozzy Osbourne's vocals.
Yes, 100%.
So fucking
100%.
haunting. Like, especially like at the tail end of verses, it's just he's like, "Oh no," or "Oh God, please help me." It's like, it's so like, oh my god.
What's haunting about that song
his
is the verses. There's no chorus, right? There's 3 verses, and they're like, it's almost like, and this happens a lot in Black Sabbath because Ozzy really came into his own as a melodicist, if that's a word, in his solo stuff. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot. My honorable mentions. Holy shit! How did I forget this? Let me make sure it's there.
This is my thing.
I'm gonna double check. To make sure it's there because it's there. I just forgot it. My honorable mentions. We're backing up because I got an honorable mention that I forgot. Diary of a Madman.
All right, you do that.
Diary of a Madman to me because it's a beautifully written song, but it's also super haunting. Super haunting. Even the slow part, the interlude. Oh my god, the interlude, Randy Rhoads' guitar melodies with Ozzy's voice and Ozzy's vocal melodies,
And it's
like
very
the way
haunting,
the way they put those two together is genius, and would even though it gets to the crescendo later, that part right there is just not only the intro. The intro is super haunting and dark as well, but that interlude is just so like, okay, so to bring things back, in the first segment you were asking me about death.
Yes.
That interlude is like the feeling that it gives you from an artistic standpoint is like the sense of resignation and of impending doom and death and madness. And the way that it convey that with the guitar melodies and mixed with the vocal melodies is just superb. And again, piece of art.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite make it into my top 5 only because of the classicalness of the guitars and the vocal melodies. There's like a classical music type feel. So it didn't quite get to the scariness level, but it's definitely worth an honorable mention. Now, anyway, going back to the Black Sabbath stuff, Ozzy didn't really become quite the melodicist, again, to use my made-up word, until he was solo. With the Black Sabbath stuff, he had this sense of like where his verses were almost like spoken word.
Yeah.
But there was still a tinge of melody there that added this complete sense of doom. Again, doom is
hauntingness.
Yes,
almost. Like
it's
eeriness.
And it works so well. Even though the melodies are relatively simple, it just comes off as like, whoa, like he's saying something that matters here. Even though what he's saying is spacey and kind of weird, it has impact.
All right. Well, that is my top 5. My honorable mentions. This almost made number 5, Mr. Crowley.
That's a great one. Yeah,
Right?
I forgot about that one.
That
That should be in my honorable mentions too.
That was a good one.
Along with Diary of a Madman, should be there.
I did have Iron Maiden, Hallowed Be Thy Name. Mostly the beginning part. Very haunting. But then again, it's Iron Maiden. It's very upbeat towards the middle and end. Rooster, South of Heaven. Children of the Grave by Black Sabbath.
Yeah, that's a great one. That should have been my honorable mentions as well.
More Pigs by Black Sabbath as well. But disturbing
Children
songs.
Children of the Grave is a great one. That's a great one.
It's great. Not very like scary, but disturbing lyrics. Korn, Daddy.
Oh no! Stop it!
Very eerie, disturbing.
Disturbing. It's not.
It's not like scary, but it's disturbing.
It's disturbing. I don't know that it belongs here because of that. Like it's almost like, I don't know. Like it's just a different feel.
It is.
But yeah, it works. Like it works. It's super disturbing.
Put it like in like a Halloween themed song thing, but it's very disturbing.
Yeah.
And especially like another one. I know. Oh, this one, Eminem Kim, is another disturbing. I'm gonna put that into the disturbing, category. Is like, holy fuck, dude, that's a disturbing song. Ghost, you said Satan's Prayer is my honorable mention. Cerise too as well.
Cerise, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah,
is also very haunting, like especially the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
His vocals are very, even the song itself is very fucking haunting. A lot of Slayer, like Mandatory Suicide, Dead Skin
Mask is a good one, yeah.
Post Mortem, going into Raining Blood is fantastic. I'm surprised you didn't put Soundgarden like Suicide in there.
So that's different for me. That's different for me because that's like a transcendence song. Yeah. Like it's not really scary. It's more like a resolution. It's like transcendence. Yeah. The transcendence is the best word that I can think of to describe that because the way that song kind of, again, we talk about pieces of art like one. Yeah. Like Suicide is very much in that same category. It's probably my favorite Soundgarden song of all time. It's such a beautiful piece of art, but I just think beauty with that song. I don't think scary per se.
Scary. Okay.
And it's more about transcendence and not as much about darkness. Even though it's about a dark subject. Yeah. I think it's more about like the resolution, like which is saddening to think because he did kill himself. In hindsight, it's very saddening and becomes darker. It does. Now because he killed himself, it becomes darker. But that song was released in 1994. Yeah. So it at the time, and when I would listen to that song religiously for 20 years before he killed himself, or however long it was, it was it had a different feel. Now it's darker, but
Yeah.
but at the time it was more about resolution and I'm just kind of again the word I land on is transcendence. Not that suicide should ever be that to anybody.
No.
It shouldn't. It's a very dark subject matter, but it just the song to me had a feel that was never like scary or anything in that realm.
My last honorable mention will go Death Zombie Ritual from their first album. What is it?
Scream Bloody Gore.
Bloody
Scream
Gore.
Bloody Gore. Yeah.
Fucking just that song. Like you put that on for any, non-heavy metal Christian person, they're gonna think like Satan. Did Satan write this?
So I love Death. I love me some Death. I avoided putting them in my honorable mentions or top 5 just because the only reason is because I don't know. I feel like the music's almost too punchy.
Yeah.
And
that song though, it's very evil sounding.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff that I could have put a lot of Death in my honorable. I thought about it too. Even something like Symbolic.
Symbolic as well.
Symbolic because it had has that very Black Sabbath kind of doomy kind of feel. I don't know. For some reason, Death just like when I listen to Death, I just kind of jam out. I'm not like this is dark and heavy. I'm just kind of like let's fucking rock. Yeah,
jamming, bro.
Even though it's fucking super like aggressive kind of hard music, it just never strikes me in that way for some reason.
There you go. That is my honorable mentions. That is our top 5 scary.
It would be
heavy metal.
Those are my
songs.
honorable mentions.
Those are my honorable.
Your language is great as usual.
Always great. Always great. What is next on the agenda? We're gonna talk. What movies?
Are we
TV
done with
shows?
music? Is that
I think
it?
we're done with music.
Okay,
That
that's
wraps
good.
up music. Movies and TV shows. You need another beer. I gotta piss.
You already pissed.
I gotta do it again.
Again? Good God, man.
This is what happens when we don't split segments. So,
but you already did it. We had to stop to sound check, and you already
broke
did it.
the seal. Dumb broke. So
when you come back and get me a new beer, how about that? I want one of those Cali Creamins.
Oh, I think I need a new one too.
You already finished that one? Holy fuck, man.
I know, we can catch up, bro. Talk while you...
Talk. Okay, so. All right, now that we're finally alone. So, by the way, I'm super, super happy that he did not include any Slipknot in his Halloween songs. This is a good thing. He did put Corn Daddy in there. What the fuck is that? I mean, okay. I mean, I can give you it's a disturbing ass song. I don't know. Let's really put it in there as a Halloween song. Anywho, so backstory behind this. If you're voting in this election, you know this is the only choice right here. No, I'm not going to get political in this. So, let us know about your top 5 Halloween songs, because I really am interested to hear what people have to say. Because what I find difficult about Halloween songs, nailing it down, is I was really torn about like are we talking about eerie sounding songs? Scary lyrics, scary sounding. Like, where's the dividing line there? I would be really interested to hear about, because I know, like, everybody else is going to be like, oh, let's put Enter Sandman, close the door, douchebag. That was a quick ass piss. Oh my God. Either that or I talked for really long and didn't realize it.
Yeah, I forgot to wash my hands.
Well, this is nothing new. You forgot or just status quo? Yeah. Jesus. Good thing you touched the back of my head and not the front. Oh, thank you, sir. Look at that. We got a Kelly screaming. I was telling them about how, stuff and things. No, I was saying about how that's not a coaster. That's a bottle opener. Careful.
Well, it'll eventually turn into a coaster.
Oh, shit. Steve's getting loose. He's had enough beers. Yeah. We need to get you the... where's our sponsor? We need to get you that thing and put you to bed.
Yeah, definitely.
What's it called again? Fammy?
Sim, Sound Machine.
Fammy Sim?
Fammy Sim.
So,
Hopefully I said that
okay, so here's the thing about that is Steve needs his sleep. Steve needs his sleep.
Uh-huh.
And the kids wake his sorry ass up all the time.
I'm a light sleeper.
And so the Fammy, what's it called again?
Fammy Sim.
Fammy
Sound
Sim,
Machine for Babies.
Sound Machine for Babies, puts them to sleep so that Steve can sleep.
Yes.
This is very important. So have you ever had those moments when you need your sleep? You got to go to work. You got to, socialize with the friends, hang out with the wife, whatever it is. But the damn kids, man. The damn kids just keep you awake. And I say damn kids lovingly. I don't literally mean lovingly. But you know what? They're restless. Yeah. They're restless. Mm-hmm. They need some peaceful sleep, just like you do.
Yes.
Fammy Sim.
Fammy Sim. Sound Machine.
Sound Machine. Put those little...
I don't even know where it is. I would have...
Put those little lovely things to sleep.
20% off till November 30th.
With the code?
The code at the bottom in the description as well. So
what is the code? Can we say it out loud?
I don't. It's in the description.
Okay, so we can't say it out loud. We're not allowed.
It's not a. It's just a link, right? You click the link and the code's there, and boom, there you go. That's
so it's not a cool code like beer night. It's something like
it's something different.
Abstract.
It's like a link. You click on it and boom, 20% off. Follow us, right? Amazing. Follow us for more intriguing.
Let's crack a beer.
Crack a beer. I'm surprised we threw that in there, but all right.
Well, that's how you do ads, my friend.
That's how you do ads. Now we get into movies and TV shows, and this time around, we're a little bit different. Usually, we'll probably talk about it at the end, but what have we been watching lately? But this time around, we're going to do a top 5 horror movies of all time. What do you think about it? Sir, I told you.
It's pretty fucking good. Pretty fucking good. Maybe we should do a review of this. So, no, the Saison was amazing, but I also want to shout out Mother Earth from San Diego County, right here in sunny SoCal. Mother Earth, they make a great vanilla cream ale called Cali Creamin'. Mm-hmm. This is a twist on it called Cali Screamin'. It's a pumpkin vanilla cream ale. Yeah. It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Great shit. So we're going to do top 5 horror movies of all time. I will go first on this.
Okay.
All right? So you can, sandbag your way through whatever you got.
Sandbag. Okay. Whatever.
And I love horror movies. It's probably my favorite genre. I haven't watched them all. I'm trying to, watch majority of, especially the old school ones.
So it's your favorite genre?
Favorite genre.
Okay, let's do real quick. Let's do top 5 genres.
Oh, let's do it.
How about top 3?
Top 3 what?
Or we do top 5 because there's only about 6 genres, so we can't really do top 5. How about top 3?
Genres of all genres?
Of movies. Just real quick.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Genres, movie genres. What the fuck are we talking about here?
So horror is 1, action adventures 2, and comedies 3.
Okay, for me it's sci-fi 1.
Okay.
Action adventure 2. Uh-huh. And I'm gonna go a tie between drama and thriller for 3. Okay.
I mean, I like my comedy, so
the comedy to me is pretty low. Like because
here's a good comedy.
I love comedies. Don't get me wrong, but for me the rewatchability is low, super low on comedies.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of good comedies I we watch.
For me, there are comedies, but a lot of them lose their rewatchability.
I rewatch a lot more comedies than any other.
Not me. There are some that I absolutely do. Absolutely, because you catch more jokes the second and third time around. But there's a lot of them that just get boring the more you watch them. And that's my problem. The more you watch them, there's diminishing returns. I don't get that with sci-fi and action movies. They're just as exciting. Well, maybe not just as exciting, but there's less diminishing returns the more I watch them. Anyway.
Top 5 horror movies of all time is what we're doing here. My number 5. I'm going to do the Blair Witch Project.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Stop the fucking presses. Yes. This is bullshit. This list is invalid. Invalid.
No.
Invalid.
Oh my God, this movie when
Invalid.
it first came out,
I don't give a fuck.
Saw it, scary as fuck.
I'm not talking about when you first saw it.
Scary.
Okay, so diminishing returns.
Even now when I rewatch it,
No.
yes, it holds
Stop
up to me. I think it holds up. It definitely does. I still get like, oh my God, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Top fucking 5?
Yes, top 5. Blair
I can almost understand honorable mention. Top 5.
Top 5.
Fuck you.
100%. That movie was ahead of its time too, with found footage and just
all the found footage movies suck, dude.
That one is fantastic, especially the press that came with it. And thinking
but
real
that's at the time.
Oh my God.
That's at the time. Now it doesn't.
It
doesn't hold up
as well. I think it does still hold up.
No, you're crazy.
Crazy
talk.
Number 4, I'm gonna go. What was it? Halloween. Number 4, the original Halloween is number 4, and I saw this actually. I did it back to back. The Halloween original and then the new Halloween movie that came out in theaters. The original, it still holds up to this day, especially the theme. Obviously, the theme song is fantastic, and then just the way the stalker feel of that movie is just so haunting.
It's also
very eerie, and
it's also when you realize how low budget it is and how far ahead of its time it was.
Far ahead of its time it is. Yeah.
Now I know I just shit all over that with the Blair Witch Project, but that's because the slasher genre holds up a lot more than the fucking found footage genre does. So there's a lot to be said about Halloween. There's so many great things.
Number 3, I'm gonna go Nightmare on Elm Street.
A Nightmare?
A Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 3. Because the fact that you could die in your dreams still.
So are we talking?
Still haunts me.
So I kind of missed this. Are we talking about top 5 horror movies or top 5 Halloween movies?
Horror movies. This movie is the best Nightmare.
See, you messed me up though, because I thought you were talking about the top 5 like horror movies for Halloween, which to me is a distinction.
Whatever you want, bro.
Well, it's too late now because we already put a list together. It's too late.
Okay.
So you fucked it up.
I don't. Whatever. Just he interpreted it differently. It's
fine. Yeah, because you don't communicate.
I did communicate with you, you dumbass.
Who's the dumbass here?
All right. Number 2 is The Shining, and that is very, very haunting, especially during the scene where the kid is, driving the bike around.
The big wheel. The big wheel. Come on. Around. We all had a big wheel.
Because you don't know what's coming on the corner, right? You're like, oh, it's clear.
Were you too young for a big wheel? Did you have a big wheel when you were a kid?
I had a big wheel.
Okay,
I definitely had a big wheel. Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Big wheels were the shit.
Ooh, they were awesome.
They were the shit.
I definitely remember falling off of it and doing.
Oh, dude, all around the neighborhood.
All around
the neighborhood with that big wheel. Just woo, just like the hotel. Mm-hmm. Same shit. Mm-hmm.
And just, that movie is so haunting. And just, I love how that movie feels going through it. It's fantastic. It's a good number 2 horror movie of all time. Number 1, and it feels
with a bullet
so real. This movie, it feels like a documentary. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is number 1 horror movie of all time. It's just, it's like 1975 or 4, something around there.
4, I think. Something like that.
Just it's shot so awesomely. It's shot like a documentary, and just the fact that it could be real is just insane. It feels so real in that movie. It scares the shit out of me every time I watch it. It's great. That is my top 5 horror movies of all time.
Honorable mention is a long fucking list for Steve.
It is. Evil Dead. All the Evil Dead. Fantastic. But to me, the Evil Dead is like a fun horror. It's very fun. Yeah. It's very gory kind of, but it feels like a fun, scary movie. Hereditary. Everyone seems like they scare the shit out of them with that movie. That movie to me, it's scary at the end during the beginning and middle parts, it's kind of like, okay, I'm just kind of going with it. It's kind of interesting. But at the end, it definitely gets you at the end.
Made your honorable mentions list. It must be pretty fucking good.
It is. Sinister. That movie fucking that's haunting. The demon creature in that movie, very fucking scary. I'm surprised you haven't. Have you seen Sinister?
If you put The Grudge on your fucking honorable mentions list, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
The Sinister
on camera. I'm gonna kill you.
Is 100% way above The Grudge.
Okay, well that's a very low bar to clear.
100% way fucking above that. The Exorcist.
Okay, it's great. It's great. Great.
I don't think it holds up as much as it.
It's still a great movie though.
The theme song is fantastic, and what I like about it is, it's the theme song is only I believe the beginning and the end of the movie.
One of the most ripped off movies of all time.
It
is.
What haunts me is like when they're in there trying to do the Exorcist and everything. There's no theme song. There's no.
It's dry.
It's dry.
It's dry. But that's
what's haunting about.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's haunting about.
So it that's what makes art, right? Is choice, right? Mm-hmm. Creativity is all about choice. What do you do in any certain, avenue of your artistic creation? Choice, like in movies, there is so much placed on score. Score adds so much, but the absence of score, when it's done right, it can be very affecting. But it's not often done right, because we're so used to movies having score. Sometimes the absence of that can have a huge effect.
Another one, The Descent.
Okay, Descent's good.
I'm like a claustrophobic person, so like fucking just fitting in all that shit.
Yeah.
Just, especially like another one, As Above, So Below.
What about Buried?
Buried too. Buried is too.
You're talking about claustrophobia.
Ooh.
Shit.
That is creepy. I'm gonna go with The Thing as well. Another honorable mention. The not knowing about what is going on.
But it's
very haunting.
This is a great.
What the fuck is going on?
This is a great crossover piece because it's also a thriller.
It is. Yeah.
Like it's just like it's not just horror. It's also a thriller because a mystery thriller, if you will. Like a murder mystery, but it's not about murder per se. But even though it is, but alien murder. But it has that feel where it's like, okay, so we're deviating from horror a little bit and going into the thriller genre, and Carpenter was always great with that, where he could bleed genres together and be like, okay, there's some action elements here, some thriller, some horror, some sci-fi, like he would bleed all those genres together.
And then I'm gonna go. We have two more. Jeepers Creepers.
Stop it.
1 and 2.
Stop it.
It's just such an original kind of like thinking almost.
It doesn't belong.
I think it does.
You can like it. It's fine.
I like it.
But come on.
It's in the honorable.
In the top? Stop it. Honorable mention still means it's top tier.
And then another like found footage one, Cloverfield. No. I think it's really good.
I like it. I respect it.
I don't know if it's scary.
The sequel's better.
The
13 Cloverfield Lane.
Yes,
it's better.
I like the.
It's not found footage. It's just a fucking movie, and it's way better.
Even the prequel to it too. I forget what it was called. There's a prequel to all.
The one where they're in space. Right?
Yeah, we're in space.
That got shitty reviews. I never watched it because it got panned, but
I liked it. That is my top 5 and honorable mentions.
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield. Yes, that. The found footage of that, like that style.
So you're a found footage horror.
Somewhat.
Okay.
Somewhat.
Okay.
If it's.
But you didn't put Paranormal Activity in there.
No. At the time, I'll give you Paranormal Activity this.
It's super gimmicky. Super gimmicky. Super stupid, by the way.
When I first watched it in theaters, I thought it was like a true story. So when I first saw it, I thought it was that, and it really scared me. Actually, I'm like, what the fuck, dude, this is crazy.
Pretty
But
dumb.
then I obviously grew a brain and thought like, no, it's not. It's just a fucking movie.
The movie, by the way,
No.
folks, the movie didn't come out that long ago.
No.
So he grew a brain
I grew
at
a brain
like
in 2001.
at like 16.
2001.
Okay.
You know, I was still like, 16.
Was it that long ago?
It was like 2001, 2002.
Are you
around
sure?
there.
We're gonna have to Google that and find out. I want to know when you grew a brain,
Okay.
because
I'll Google it and you give me your top 5.
Okay,
horror
so
movies
it's not
of
going to
all time.
include Blair Witch or
It should. but
Paranormal
fuck
Activity
you.
or Cloverfield. No.
2007. So
Okay,
I
that's when
was 20.
So, ladies and
I
gentlemen,
was 20.
the date when the year when
21.
Steve grew a brain, 2007.
Yes.
All right. So, okay. So, my top 5. I'm having some trouble here with where I want to put honorable mentions, where I want to put top 5. That's what I'm struggling with. So, and to be fair, I misunderstood.
I mean, you could do, thriller.
I was thinking more what would be better for
scary,
Halloween. Otherwise,
Halloween,
my top, if we're just going horror, and because I'm a sci-fi head, my top, or at least close to the top, would probably be Alien. Because I almost gave away one of my top ones there. I kind of did.
Okay, yeah.
So, but Alien, like to me, is a great horror movie, but it's not really a good Halloween movie. It's just not. Like it's just it's
good
a sci-fi
sci-fi
movie.
movie.
But as a sci-fi horror, it's fucking incredible. It's a masterpiece. But it doesn't really fit for me for Halloween. So I was trying to go the Halloween theme.
Okay.
So I think number 5, I want to go a tie. I really want a tie here. It's a tie for me
Okay.
from werewolf movies.
Okay.
The Howling and An American Werewolf in London.
Ooh,
To me, these
I
are
like those.
these
I
are
like
the
those.
2 greatest werewolf movies to me. And what I love about them, and what I will never, ever, ever forgive the piece of shit Twilight movies for bastardizing, is the horrificness of being a werewolf and what that means and what it is to change into a werewolf and the horror that comes along with that. What I always hated, besides, so we can also talk about how the Twilight movies completely bastardized and destroyed the idea of vampires.
Yeah.
They really destroyed it.
100%.
They absolutely did even worse with the idea of werewolves. Because the fucking bullshit where they just like rapidly change back and forth between a wolf and a human.
Yeah.
The horrific aspect of werewolves was the change, man. The change. That's what made it horrific.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they killed and they were monsters, but what made them a monster was the change.
Yeah.
And The Howling and American Werewolf in London perfectly encapsulate that. Now, it's only one scene in each. It's one scene where they show the horror of that. And the rest of it is the horror of them being the wolf and killing people. But those scenes are so powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful. And such low-budget B movies. But they did it so fucking well. Like, and to me, has it been replicated?
Not really, no.
No, not really. That's the fucking crazy part. No.
I mean, Underworld or
Not really.
Underworld, maybe.
Maybe, but not really. Like those are more action movies. Like, and I'll get into the action aspect in a minute here in my honorable mentions. But like those movies to me, like have such impact. Like they're classic. They're absolutely classic.
They are.
Number 4, I think I'm gonna go Nightmare on Elm Street. Now again, this wouldn't be in my top 5 horror movies of all time, but because of the Halloween aspect, I thought that's what we were going with again.
I agree. It's
It's a great Halloween movie.
Great
Like to
Halloween
me,
movie.
it just encapsulates to me the idea of Halloween. I don't know what it is. It's almost abstract in its feel. It just feels like Halloween.
Yeah.
It really does.
It does.
It just has that feel. It's a great horror movie on its own. Not like in if we were doing just straight top 5 horror movies, which is what he did, then it would be in my honorable mentions, but it wouldn't be in my top 5. But for Halloween kind of influenced horror movies, I don't know. For some reason, it just kind of has that Halloween feel to me.
In the fact that you could, die in your sleep, that's a scary aspect And if you
Well, but not just in your
adapt it
sleep,
to real life,
in a dream.
in a dream,
That's
in a dream
that's
as
the
well.
real kicker.
That's the real
It's
kicker.
not
Yeah,
just in your
exactly.
sleep; it's in a dream.
A dream.
Because you can die of a heart attack,
exactly,
or
in
a
your
stroke in
sleep,
your
yeah,
dream,
yeah.
or in your sleep,
It's
I
just
should say.
sleep,
But
yeah.
in your
But
dreams,
dream, ooh,
that's what makes it super
Yeah.
kind of,
yeah,
effective.
scary, yeah.
Number 3, I'm gonna go with Shining. So The
Right,
Shining, it could be my top 1 horror movie of all time. It could be. I don't know if it's quite there. I'm a huge Stanley Kubrick fan. I really love the artistic nature of his work, particularly of The Shining. Oh yeah, well, The
I
Shining.
can barely see it. But
Yeah,
it's
but
right
if any of you
Yeah.
are fans of The Shining, you know what that picture is.
Mhm.
And so what I always loved about The Shining is that Kubrick put his own artistic twist on it, right? He didn't just adapt the novel, which is why Stephen King's not a fan of it, because he took the novel and made it his own artistic piece. And that picture is a prime example of it, because that picture says something that was never in the novel. And a lot of things that Kubrick did in his movie were not in the novel. And it's because he took his own artistic license. And that's what made the movie great to me. I've read the novel, I've watched the movie, I like the movie better because I like the artistic choices that he took. The novel is great, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the movie adds this extra underlying supernatural element that just was not there in the novel. And that picture is a prime example. And if you've watched the movie and you know where it closes before the credits fucking roll, and when the credits roll in that movie, you're like, what the fuck? And that's what's great about Kubrick, is that he just plants something in your head as an audience, and it's just like, okay, what the fuck did I just see? Like, I don't even know what it was. It's just so open-ended, and it brings up discussion and ideas, and especially because in Halloween we like to talk about ghosts and supernaturalness and stuff like that. It just kind of fits perfectly in that context. So that's why I love it. Besides the fact that Kubrick's a genius anyway. Number 2, so I'm gonna go Texas Chainsaw.
Ooh, number 2.
So,
number 2.
and this could have been Shining could have been number 2 over, because a lot of the reasons I like Texas Chainsaw are the reasons that I like The Shining, because of the artistic nature.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, The Shining is a much more refined artistic piece than Texas Chainsaw is, but Texas Chainsaw is kind of an underrated artistic piece as well, mostly because of the cinematography.
Yeah.
The cinematography is incredible in that movie. It is so underrated, even though people talk about it, and we talk about how it's shot like a documentary and blah 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 blah. But it's not just that. It's the photography itself. The context is that, yeah, it looks like a documentary, but it's also just the way it's shot with the sun and the lighting and everything. There's so many shots in that movie that are absolutely brilliant, that are just for a low budget kind of B horror movie, you just don't expect to see. But you see it in that, and it adds so much flavor to that movie that makes somehow it makes the horror that much more effective. I don't know if it's because it feels like real life, maybe the documentary aspect, but it's also it just makes the other stuff that much more impactful, because you're watching this and it's kind of semi-artistic, and you're just kind of like, oh, this is really pretty, but then all of a sudden something horrific happens. You're like, whoa, it's that much more impactful. And it's dry. It's very dry. But that makes the horror when the classic scene when Leatherface slams the steel door. It's so dry but so effective. It works so well. Exactly. Number 1 with a bullet is Halloween, man. It's Halloween. We're talking about Halloween themed movies. Halloween is by far the best Halloween themed horror movie.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest horror movies of all time, bar none. You got to put it in your top 3, at least, of horror movies in general. But if we're talking about Halloween horror movies, I mean, come on. It doesn't get any better than that. Kind of like Texas Chainsaw, not as the cinematography isn't as beautiful as Texas Chainsaw, but it's there where it has that dry kind of feel where you see things like one of my favorite images of all time is when, and Carpenter shoots this so well, when they're just walking home from school, they're holding their books, talking, and she's talking, then she just looks up and she sees him standing outside the hedge. And then she's like, "What's that?" And then she kind of looks back, and he's gone. And it's just the way it's shot is so beautiful from a horror movie aesthetic.
Yeah.
Because it adds that stalker element.
Yeah.
But it's just so dry. Like it has this palette that just looks so kind of like ominous, and it's not overproduced.
Yeah.
It's just very like realistic, and there's so many shots in the movie that like I just think of him like walking from the house, like that stalker like he slowly.
Yeah.
The original slasher movie where he's walking, doesn't run,
No,
just walks, slowly walks as she's trying to get through the door. It's a gimmick. You know, it's been played out at this point in time. Yeah, it's been played out. It's cliche, but that invented the cliche, man. That was it. Like he's not in a hurry. He knows he's gonna get her eventually. He doesn't care. Yeah. He's just a Terminator. He's the Terminator, right? It's like it's just walking. Just not the T-1000 either. He's just walking. Like doesn't run. And it's just there's a lot of shots like that in the movie where it's just it's classic. So
it's good.
You know, that's a good
it's
one.
It's a good number one. I like that.
Honorable mentions. So again, I was trying to think of things that are a little bit more Halloween based, not just straight horror. Hellraiser 2, Hellbound. Oh, I love Hellraiser 2, man. Hellbound, like I love the fact that this is something small, but it's just kind of cool to me.
Yeah.
The fact that Hellraiser 2 isn't the main title; it's a subtitle.
Subtitle.
The main title is Hellbound.
Hellbound.
Hellraiser 2. I'm like, that's cool, and it's a fucking great movie. When you watch it too, it's like this movie's badass. Like it's
almost better than the first one.
Oh, it is better. No, it's not almost. It is better. Like that is a better movie than the first one.
Of that 'cause I haven't
No,
watched
it's
that
great.
in years,
It's fucking great. Like it's like Terminator 2 versus Terminator. It's the first one is fantastic, but the second one just steps it up a notch, and that's what makes it great.
Good. That's good.
The Thing.
The Thing.
Fucking.
The Thing. Yes.
Like just. Yeah. It's such a great sci-fi horror movie. Like I could have put Alien in there too, but I feel like the Alien is a little bit more sci-fi. The Thing's a little bit more horror, so that's kind of when I went more horror with that. I wanted to go a little bit away from the chalk. I realized we were talking about this when I was making my list. I went a little bit chalk with a lot of my choices. Texas Chainsaw, Halloween, Shining. That's all kind of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's all kind of expected.
Yeah, it is.
How about Near Dark? I want to give some vampires some love here.
All right.
Vampire movies. I love vampire movies. You know, we talked about how Twilight butchered werewolves. They also butchered vampires. Near Dark's a great vampire movie. Very kind of unsung, a little obscure. It's fun. I love Catherine Bigelow as a director. She's a great director. That was her first movie before she did Point Break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Near Dark's an awesome movie. Bill Paxton's great. The whole cast is great. It's a fun movie. How about Blade? We're talking about vampires.
Blade.
How about the action horror genre? Blade 1 and 2 are fucking great horror movies and great vampire movies and great action movies. Oh my god.
That's good.
And to me they kind of fit into the Halloween aesthetic because of the comic book movie kind of thing. It's just it has this kind of like Halloween feel to me. I don't know. And I just want to throw some more vampire stuff in there.
All right. Vampire guy, all right.
Evil Dead.
Dead.
Come on.
Yes.
I mean, Evil Dead. Yeah. Especially Evil Dead 2. Such a great movie.
Over the top. Too so
It's such a great movie.
So
horror comedy.
Yeah,
and to me it fits right into the who doesn't want to be Ash for Halloween?
Yeah.
Come on. If I could cut off my hand and be Ash for Halloween, I would, but I need my hand. I need both. Otherwise, I would cut off my fucking hand to be Ash for Halloween.
Exactly.
That's my honorable mentions.
All right. Well, there you go. There's our top 5 horror movies of all time. Hopefully, and honorable mentions. So hopefully you agree or disagree. Let us know in the comments. You want to do have you been watching anything lately at all?
So to take a radical turn from Halloween movies.
Halloween movie. I mean, I got a little bit of scary movies I've been watching.
No, so a really great show that I've been watching I like a lot is Bad Monkey on Apple with Vince Vaughn.
I don't have Apple, so okay.
Okay, it's really good.
Yeah,
really good, really fun. Vince Vaughn is great as usual, and it's a good like detective show, but with the kind of Vince Vaughn kind of like goofy dumbass aesthetic, and he's just great. He's super likable, but it's really funny and has a lot of really cool elements. Even just little shit with the each episode recap, like the narrator comes on and makes some smart ass comment about you needing to watch the recap. Like just little shit like that just makes it like kind of fun and cool. It's fun. What else? I've been kind of slow to get on what else. I still need to watch the new House of the Dragon. I still need to watch
You haven't
that.
watched that.
No.
I rather do it, but it's just a big old long trailer for season 3 is what I feel like it is.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll give my opinion when I finally fucking watch it.
That's my opinion. I won't say anything else. It just feels like a trailer. For
I mean,
season 3.
it got great reviews, but you know.
Okay, I guess.
Well, I mean, if it sucked, you know, the critics probably wouldn't like it either. It's usually the case. Sometimes critics are wrong, but usually they get it fairly right. If it sucks, they usually tell you, "Hey, it sucks."
All right.
Other than that, fuck, what else have I been watching? Oh yeah, well, I mean, you still haven't watched X-Men '97, so let's not get on this fucking.
That yet.
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched that.
I need to watch Agatha. I know
Yeah.
I need to. Oh,
Agatha,
okay,
yeah,
I got
you
one
watch
for you.
that.
I got one for you. The Acolyte. Okay,
Oh, okay.
I
Is
really
that
like
good or bad?
it's really good.
Yeah,
Watch it.
I did
Watch it.
watch it. I did
You
watch
did.
it.
Well, then why are you asking me if it's good or
And
bad?
it falls in between the good and bad.
What's the bad?
It starts out bad, but it ends good.
Well, what's the bad?
I
want to know what your sliding scale is.
So my scale is May, and who was the other? What was the other name of the twins? It was May. And
Yeah,
who else?
I don't remember.
Who else? So I can't remember who. I think May was the bad one,
Yeah.
and the other one was the good one. I can't remember the other person's name.
Yes.
But May, it felt like she was wishy-wash. Right?
Okay, but that's not what I asked you. I asked what your scale of good and bad was. What's the bad?
The bad is her. It is the fact that she was
wishy-washy.
wishy-wash.
You said it fell between good and bad.
Yeah, it's in between. It's in between good and bad.
So what's the bad? What's your bad show? Like, what are you comparing it to?
I'm not comparing it to another show.
I'm asking you to.
No.
Yes, you said it fell between good and bad as far as a good show.
As a show.
Yeah, so what's your idea of bad show? That's what I want to know.
Bad
It falls
show.
between though, as far as Star Wars shows.
Oh, Star Wars. Okay.
Yes. That's because that's what I was asking. It's like I want to know what you're comparing it to.
I guess the it's not the
Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
So do you think it's
as it was kind of bad at the beginning, but then it got
so?
good
Do you think it's better than Book of Boba Fett?
No, I don't.
So then it doesn't fall between the good and bad.
I don't understand what you want, bro.
You said it. You said it falls between good and bad.
Between is good. It was good at the end, the show.
Okay.
But it's bad at the beginning.
I see where I think I see what you're saying now. You're saying that the show is good and bad. You're not saying the show itself falls in between good and bad.
No.
Okay.
It's good. So the bad, I feel like they should have gotten to the point of what the one of the Jedi's. I can't. It's been a while since I watched it because I watched it when it first aired. Like his story of trying to save these two.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they should have gotten there beforehand. That way, like the reason why he did it.
Sure. Yeah.
That way maybe you could feel.
I mean,
his
to
sympathy
me,
of doing it.
It
just felt like it dragged too long.
To me, I had no problem. To me, I felt like they pretty well explained why he did it.
No, they didn't. They didn't explain well until like episode 5, I think.
Well, yeah, so they did explain it.
They explained it in episode 5 out of 6. Right?
6
there was like 6 episodes.
It was 8.
Could have been 8. Maybe. I think
that's the middle.
6.
So that's the middle. That's about right.
About right.
With shows,
But
usually.
I feel like they should have explained his reason why he did that a little bit sooner.
I don't necessarily.
A little bit sooner so you could care more.
I don't necessarily agree.
I didn't care for his character at all until they finally explained why he did it.
But that's fine because
what he did.
But that's fine because you don't always need a lead in. To me, I actually kind of like the revelation. I like the idea of a revelation more than let's just establish everything right out of the gate. Revelations to me sometimes make better stories than just let's establish everything in linear order.
Well, you like in this scenario, you could establish the reason like why he's doing this certain thing, right? And then you get to like that point. It's been a minute since I watched it. I first aired. I don't remember the circumstances of it, but like you could have had him have some sort of stance on the reason why he did it. You didn't find out till almost the end of the movie. I mean, the show, almost the end of the show.
But again, to me, I feel like
it just made you care more.
Nah, I don't necessarily agree.
His character until the
but
end.
that's fine. You don't have to, as long as you care for him at some point. Because the thing is that here's where I completely disagree with what you're saying. Is because with Jedis, we typically don't really care about them until they're fully established because they're such dry characters, and they're that way by design. The idea of this show is to slowly peel that back. That was kind of the point, is to slowly peel back those layers and realize, okay, they're human. They're not these dry fucking monks. They are human. They have human qualities, but we have to get there. We can't just establish it right out of the gate. So because out of the gate, it's been established that they're these puritanical monks that just always try to do the right thing and blah, 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 blah. They're not human. They don't make mistakes. They don't make bad choices. Well, they are. But we have to get there. Yeah. And that's kind of what I liked about it, is the revelation, the slow peel back, the slow burn. Now, that may not be for everybody. But getting there was what made it more interesting to me, instead of just saying, okay, well, here's this guy. He's a Jedi, but he's flawed. And let's see all the ways he's flawed and then show everything that he did. It wouldn't have worked as well to me. What made it work was that it slowly peeled back everything that we thought about Jedis and everything we assumed about Jedis. And that makes it more effective. Now, I mean, you can Monday morning quarterback any number of aspects of that, but you could do that with any show. You could do that with The Mandalorian. You could do it with Obi-Wan. You could do it with Book of Boba Fett. You could do it with Andor. Yeah. It's just with this particular show, it came under so much more scrutiny because people wanted it to fail, and they ended up making it fail because
it canceled.
But the silly thing about it is that even if it's not the greatest Star Wars show, and it's not. Let's be real. It's not. However, the quality of it, the quality of the storytelling, the quality of everything is so far and away advanced compared to most other stuff that we've gotten over the decades. I mean, if people want to hate on this, then maybe they want to go back to when the only Star Wars spinoffs we had were the Ewok Adventure. Would you rather have that?
I think so.
Really?
I don't know what they want, but
I mean, seriously, like we want to split hairs and be like, it's okay that it's not perfect. I'm not saying that, I'm not going to argue that it was a perfect show. Yeah. But to act like it's a failure and low quality, it's like, I watched it and I'm like, I mean, there's a lot of things to like here. Why do we not like it? Yeah. Because what do we want? Like, I mean, come on. There's even people still hating on like the Obi-Wan show. I'm like, how can you hate on that shit? I mean, come on. It's a good show. Like, why are we gonna? Yeah. I mean, like the Acolyte's much easier to hate on because it's an original story, and there's other bullshit too because you have the whole political nature of it. There's female director and minority actors and stuff like that, which does all this stupid shit.
I did see the.
It's bullshit.
I don't understand like why they would like say all the things they said during the interviews of leading up to it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, they wanted to make the gayest Star Wars show ever, like, and make white boys cry. Like, why would you like say that stuff? You just in the what's it called? The pre interviews of the show. I'm like. You're holding yourself into this shit.
Who said that?
Like the actors when they get interviews. When they do interviews. The actors of the Acolyte.
Bullshit.
Yeah, no, it's not bullshit.
I think it's bullshit.
No, it's not. I've seen it.
I'll have to look at it.
You're going to have to look it up.
I'll have to look at it. But even if they did.
So
fucking what?
But why say that stuff? Though?
But who cares? But who cares?
I know who cares, but like there's certain stupid fans that think like fucking like.
No, I get what you're saying.
Like,
but let's be realistic.
Just let it be. Just let it fucking be. Like, here's our show. Enjoy it, please.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, I can see.
Why would you say we want to make this the gayest show Star Wars ever, and make white boys cry? Like, but why say certain?
But
things
also,
like that?
but also, there's context that could be involved there. Perhaps they were joking or ribbing somebody. I don't know.
They were not.
Yeah. How do you know?
I've seen it. So seen it.
But did you?
I've seen.
Did you see it?
I've seen the full interviews.
So you saw it in context.
Yes,
and what did they say? What was the question?
So the question was they asked about like C-3PO and R2-D2 and how like are they like gay and lesbian, and then they kind of talked about how the Acolyte is we wanted to make this the gayest Star Wars as possible, and make white boys cry, and this is fucking just like this is like what the fuck is this? Like, why would you say such a stupid thing? It makes no sense.
Then ask me a question about that. I want you to ask me one very specific question about that.
Okay, I don't know what question. Do you care?
Yes. No. No.
I don't care either.
I don't give a flying donkey dick.
I watched it.
Like, I don't care.
I watched it after I watched all those things, and then I watched it.
Who the fuck gives a shit?
I didn't really care either, but like I don't understand why you would say such a thing. It's like
because maybe they wanted to fuck with people. Maybe they wanted to fuck with people the same way that white straight guys have been fucking with people for decades. I don't know. But so. But no, it's not because white straight guys have been fucking with people like that for decades. And you don't call that the dumbest shit. So why do we care? Why? Who fucking cares? If it's good, it's good. People who do shit that you don't agree with have been making good content for years, and you don't fucking disagree with it. Who cares? If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. People try to review bomb The Last of Us Part 2. Why? Because it had a fucking female lead with fucking lesbianism in it. So they tried to review
I do
it.
remember that.
So it doesn't fucking matter. If it's good, it's good. Take it on its own merits. For years, people. Okay, so here's another example on the opposite side of the spectrum. For years, people tried to tell me that Russell Crowe was an asshole and I shouldn't like his movies because he was a dick to people. It's like, I don't care. He's a good actor. What the fuck do I care? Or Tom Cruise with Scientology. It doesn't matter. It's an artistic output. Right there. If but the point is that look, people can say all kinds of stupid shit in interviews. They can on both sides of the spectrum. It doesn't matter. Like, is it good or not? Yeah. Is it good? It was good. Period. If we want to pretend like it was bad, then you aren't watching bad television. You really aren't, because you don't have a fucking television. Exactly. You don't have something valid to compare it to if you think that is bad television. Now, if you want to take onus with the people that produce it, I mean, here's the thing: is that you're not taking onus with people that produce things on the other side as well. Because why? Because you agree with them. That's not what art is, man. It's like if you only consume art based on people that you agree with. I've never always agreed with fucking Rage Against the Machine, but they're an amazing band. Amazing band, yeah. It doesn't fucking... Yeah. So, like, this idea that they have to align with our beliefs in order for us to respect their artistic output is fucking insane, and that's Nazi fascism. It really is. It really is. And we need to get away from that. And the idea that something that could have been really good, maybe not. Maybe in the second season would have sucked. Maybe it would have been mediocre. Maybe it would have been great. Maybe somewhere in between. Who knows? But the fact that people wanted to act like it was really bad, and I watched it, I'm like, this is actually really good and compelling. I like it. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Like, it's just silly. But anyway, getting back to the merits of the show itself, I do hear what you're saying about, you're right, in that you didn't really identify with these characters out of the gate. Yeah, I didn't either, but I liked the aspect that we slowly peeled away the layers as things went on. You kind of realize, okay, I see what they're doing here. I see where it's going, and I understand what they're getting at. And the idea of blurring the lines between the Jedi and the Sith, or the light and the dark, whatever, light and the dark side, and that the Jedi are not infallible, not perfect, that they do make mistakes. We already kind of did that in the Star Wars series with Anakin, right? But Anakin just went full villain. This was more like, okay, they're still the good guys, but he might have made a gigantic fucking mistake here that we can't really forgive. We want to forgive him because by the end of the show, we end up liking him.
Yeah, exactly.
But wait, we can't forget all that stuff before we liked him. It's like, we can't just wipe all. It's like Pete Rose. Yeah. So to go back to earlier in the show when we were talking about Pete Rose, it's like okay, we want to like him. We want him to get to where
Yeah.
we think he should be. But at the same, I can't just forget all this stuff,
Yeah.
right? I can't. It's that blurry kind of grayness that makes it interesting, that makes it fun, that made a show like Andor great, right? Andor was great because he was an anti-hero, but you rooted for him, and you saw his struggles.
Yeah.
And it's different with the Jedi because they're to use an incendiary word, privileged, right? Because they're in a place of power.
True. Yeah.
Can they abuse that power? Certainly they can.
They can.
And do we still like them even though he abused his power? Sure. We learn to like him because we see kind of his motivations. We're like, okay, I kind of understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
But you still kind of abused your power. It's like, where do you draw the line? That's what makes it interesting. Yeah. It's not just, okay, this is another good and bad Star Wars story.
Fair enough. That's a long-winded Star Wars segment there.
Yeah. Welcome to Star Wars fandom.
Star Wars fandom. Did you watch Alien Romulus? Good movie.
Romulus. I mean, I'm a huge Alien fan.
Good movie.
So I'm a gigantic. Good. Like I said, if I was thinking more in the sci-fi terms and not as much in the Halloween terms, I might have put Alien as my best horror movie of all time, or at least close. So I'm a huge Alien fan, so I definitely want to see it.
Godzilla minus.
Oh, I really want to. I want to watch it so bad.
You gotta watch it.
I know. I want to watch it so bad.
So good. Such a good fucking movie.
I know. I've been trying to, because so here's the thing with that movie. So I've been trying to get the family to watch it with me because I've heard how good it is, and I'm like, okay, we need to watch this all together because if it's what I think it is, we need to watch it. You guys need to see this too. I'm just not gonna watch it by myself. So that's kind of what I've been waiting for. We just haven't made it happen yet. So.
Fair enough. Make sure you watch that.
Yeah, I really want to.
The new season of Cobra Kai.
I'm not all the way through it yet, but I have watched it.
It's good, dude.
So
Cobra, you can't go wrong with Cobra Kai.
I love Cobra Kai. I love it, but it's getting more cheeseball as it goes along. Which it's always been cheeseball, so I'm okay with it. I am okay with it, but it is getting worse and worse. I'm still okay with it. I'm not hating on it. I'm still gonna watch it. I'm about 4 episodes in, five episodes maybe into the new season.
It's a good cliffhanger to finish off this. I think the next, I can't remember when the next part, the last half of it comes out. I can't remember when, but good shit. Terminator 0.
I have not watched it yet.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
It looks really good
as well. Fantastic. And my last one that I've watched is along the lines of horror, In a Violent Nature. So this movie follows the slasher killer guy. Follows him. It's like a B-rated horror movie, but you follow the killer instead of following the characters of who are getting killed. It's not. It's really. It's okay. Like the acting is kind of B-movie rated, subpar acting, but following the killer itself, it's very artistic. I kind of like that. Yeah, it's on. If you have the Shudder app,
I do not.
It's on that.
It figures that you would have that, being a horror nerd.
Yes.
A horror
nerd. Yes.
No. So, horror.
Yeah.
As in WHORE.
I get you. I get you there. Whatever.
Just had to,
I know horror. You're a horror for horror.
Yes.
There you go.
You are.
Yeah. So,
not a nerd, but a whore. For horror.
There you go. But yes, In a Violent Nature, it's worth watching because it's it's something different I haven't ever seen in a horror movie. So following the killer itself is really good. I like it a lot. That is my honorable mention. I don't even know where we're at in this fucking show, dude. That wraps up movies and TV shows. Are we gonna do any video games, or have you been playing at all? Or
I have zero time to play video games.
Oh,
yeah. I did get back to Mortal Kombat 1 a little bit. Okay. Now that they released the Animalities, I started to get back to it a little bit. I haven't played Chaos Reigns though. I need to play Chaos Reigns.
So I finished Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, I love that.
And then I busted out my PlayStation 3 and started playing
Red Dead
number
1?
one.
Okay.
It's just started, so I'm kind of like into
It's a
it.
great game, but
Yeah.
old.
It's definitely
It's
old. It definitely feels old.
But it's fucking.
So
I mean, for its time, it was a fantastic game.
So,
it's just its time has passed.
And
that's all.
then I started playing Star Wars.
So let's
Survivor.
hold on. We'll back up. Let's give the review on Red Dead 2.
Red Dead 2. So if you notice back when
our review on Red Dead 2, we're about fucking
back
6 years too late.
Yeah, when I said
I
I
was there
didn't
at the
like
beginning.
Westerns, so I don't play that shit. But yeah, it's a fucking solid game. Love the characters in the game. Love to do all the random activities in the game. It's fantastic. The open world is so big and huge. There's so much to do. I still could probably go back and play more of it to do more than what you have to do in that game. Yeah, it's a solid game. The only aspect I didn't like as much is the constant traveling with the horse, riding around.
Oh, I love that.
So I like it and I love it. I like it, the fact that you can travel and you never know what's around the next corner almost.
To me, it just immerses you in the world.
Yeah.
So
which I like that aspect of it as well, but then it gets kind of like, well, I've already traveled through this. Let me fast track through it. That's kind of the only thing.
So I just really like the world. So I'm gonna compare it to another horse riding game, The Witcher. So The Witcher, fantastic game. I'm not gonna hate on The Witcher in any way, shape, or form, but I did often get annoyed with The Witcher riding through the world. I never felt that with Red Dead. I just kind of felt like this is so cool. It's so cool. The Witcher, I just want to fast travel everywhere. And so, The Witcher 3, by the way, to specify. So I just really like that aspect of riding through the world. By the way, to go back to Westerns and your idea of, I don't like Westerns. Why did you like it?
I like the story.
And?
The story and the...
There's something else you said that I'm getting at.
I'm trying to remember what I said. The action of it, I guess.
You like to say the characters.
The characters, yes, the characters. I do
what
like the
makes Westerns great are the story and the characters. 100%. That's what, because it gets down to brass tacks, because in that world, in that cutthroat kind of, kill or be killed world, where it's essentially anarchy. If you think about the Old West, it really was anarchy.
It's anarchy, yeah. It is.
Pure anarchy. Yeah. There was no governmental control. Government was very loose. There was an outside threat of the government, but they very rarely came over to the West. It was pure anarchy. So it's all about characters and then the story that they essentially create for themselves.
Survive.
That's what makes Westerns great, is the characters and the story that they really create for themselves based on interaction. And that is the 100% the nature of Westerns. So when you watch a Western, it's not because you want to see people riding around on horses through the desert or whatever. No. It's because the characters kind of make their own world, and the way they interact with each other drives how the world kind of is shaped. Because at that time it really did. The characters interacting built the worlds, built the local governments, built the interaction between the militia and the kind of the outlaws and the normal law-abiding people and the sheriffs or marshals, whatever they call them. It's just a really interesting dynamic. You get that in Red Dead. Yeah. So if you watch, I don't know, like a show like I mentioned to you, like Godless. Godless is a very Red Dead type feel to it. And a lot of Westerns do, but that's one that's relatively recent, that kind of sticks in mind. Is you get that kind of feel with the characters, and they kind of the way that they interact kind of just builds the world around them. So you need to watch more Westerns.
Yeah, that's probably true. I did play Star Wars. I think it's Jedi Survivor. I'm in the middle of that right now.
I've heard really great things about that.
It's just really good game. I'm enjoying it a lot. Other than that, just playing my basic, MLB 24, NCAA 25, which I kind of got bored of. I liked it at first, but then it kind of gets competitive.
To me, that's the EA football games to me. It's just
so,
after a while, you're like, I've played it enough.
Well, I mean, it's back from 10 years ago, so it's pretty cool to go to different colleges and build up your college, but it kind of got too repetitive. Other than that, this is pretty much all I've been playing.
Any new games on the horizon you're looking forward to?
I don't know. What new games coming out?
The trailer for Ghost of Yotai came out, which
I
is
saw that.
the sequel
I
to Ghost
haven't
of Tsushima.
even played Ghost of
Really?
Tsushima, right? Tsushima?
You haven't played that?
Nope.
Shit. You should probably do that.
Nope. Getting the
Should probably handle that.
PS5 Pro.
You should probably handle that.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. That's what I hear.
Pretty good. So yeah, I've just
we'll get more into gaming.
Well,
right?
for me, it's I'm still trying to go back and catch up on old games.
Yeah.
Like I went back. Okay, so I went back to Ratchet and Clank, started it over again, Rift Apart, started over again because it's been so long. It's a fucking great game.
You've seen the trailer for the next season of Last of Us, right?
Yes.
Have you even finished the second part of the movie? Like,
I know. I need to.
You finish the fucking game.
I know. I need to.
before you watch.
I need to.
Before you watch the next season coming up.
I need to.
Yes.
It's a fucking great game.
It is a great game.
Even when I've played of it, I'm like, this is fantastic. It's really good. Yeah. And the first one was an absolute unbridled classic.
Yeah, it is.
So, I mean, and just the story, like it's not the greatest gameplay in the world. For me, that engine, I feel like Uncharted uses that engine a little bit better. Yeah. And but Uncharted is great too from a story and a voice acting standpoint. It's second to none. It really is second to none. But what Last of Us does is it uses the same engine, obviously, from Naughty Dog, and because the gameplay is so similar, and it's very obvious it uses the same engine plus the same developer. So. Yeah. But what it does is it makes the story so much more emotionally impactful that it's just like it knocks you in the teeth. It just constantly knocks you in the teeth, and that's something that Naughty Dog did so well. Is like they just like they took everything they had learned from Uncharted, and like, okay, we made this light kind of action buddy, kind of comedy-esque, but there was some drama there, but it's and then let's just make it super dark and fucking. I mean, you talk about death. That game. Ooh, that game. Like,
that game really hits you in the balls with some death.
Yeah, but it makes you
see what happens.
But it makes you
show,
feel it. It makes you feel it and feel the gravity of everything. And it's not easy to do that in storytelling. It really isn't. Like when as players or as consumers of everything, if you're not playing but you're watching it on a show or a movie, you think, oh, well, like you don't respect how hard it is to invoke that kind of emotion in people. It's so difficult in storytelling to do that. And the fact that they did it so well, not only in the first game, but also the second game, it's just,
Well, that, I think, wraps up this epic edition of Beer Night, where it's, I don't even know what you have. I don't have my glasses on, so how long is this?
Hour and a half.
All right, about 3 hours long of Beer Night, straight through. Non-stop, maybe a piss break here or there.
Did you watch Fallout?
No, I haven't.
Video game. Okay, I haven't either. So.
I'll get there.
We can't.
I heard it was really good, so I'll get there.
Yeah, just one more thing on the
long
list of shit.
I know. I finished Sopranos season 3.
You're a little bit behind on that one. You're a little bit behind.
So I'll get there as well. So there's a lot of fucking shows and video games to play. A lot of music to listen to as well. A lot of more beer drinking and beer to do. So that's why you got to stay tuned for episode 27 coming out. Hopefully sometime before the end of the year. So we will see you then. After that, we will say cheers. I'm out of beer. I probably need one more before we, call it quits. So cheers to you. Beer Night episode 26. We'll stay tuned. Sweet!
Yeah. I mean, you want to get my attention with wrestling talk. You start talking NWO and Too Sweet.
Right. Too sweet. See you then.
For life.